Start of the live stream.
The GURPS.
Graphic user role playing.
Generic universal role playing system.
Yeah. Which it really is. Like you could.
Was Fate considered GURPS?
No, but Fate does the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, but more narrative. GURPS does like D&D.
It's a
Like
specific one.
you can make Wild West all of a sudden,
GURPS
but
has like 300 supplements.
yeah, it's massive.
Got a book for
But it's
everything.
also complicated. More
that's why-
complicated than.
That's why I just ignored it.
But I think that was before D&D kind of. GURPS was came around like before 3rd edition, I think. I don't know. It's been around for a while.
It has been.
I heard people really like Savage Worlds.
Who
That's
drew
the
the
one.
picture of Hubert?
Probably
Jake.
Jake.
I'd never seen that.
And now you have.
Yeah, that's cool.
They're just walking downstairs, and I was like,
He wanted to trip again.
I really
weird
didn't appreciate
chips.
that Hubert comment. Nah.
What, do we ever use challenge roll?
Yeah.
Is
like
it
a skill
challenge?
check.
It's like a skill check, right? That's right.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Yeah, you need 10 or higher for challenge roll.
Okay. Oh yeah. Adam or his
that's so
mom
good.
went through. Pick a color, any color, Thomas. I think you like green.
Oh man, they've never been this organized.
No.
Yeah. They better stay that organized.
Oh. I'll try purple just for dinner.
Okay. Let's see.
I always grab a spare D20 when things go bad though.
Bird had won his arena battle.
There's no 20 in here.
I did.
Both of them.
What the heck, Adam?
Oh yeah, that was the shit bag.
This one kinda here. We can double up green. Green
Two
for
greens.
green for green.
Green for the green gods.
Yeah.
This book can be back among public use if you guys want for the session.
Do we need it?
No?
No.
Okay, we'll keep it back here.
All yours.
Anyone need to see this? No. Okay.
We didn't level up, did we?
Not yet.
No.
You're still level 3.
Only had like half a
There's a
session.
spell I wish I had, but I thought it was too complicated to write down.
Don't ever let that stop you, Thomas.
Yeah. Never let anybody
It's not a
tell
good
you
reason. Yeah.
it's too complicated.
Not writing utensils.
Need this?
I'll accept that.
Okay. I like this now. Thomas and I have like our own hand. Everybody has their own like
Yeah.
side of the table.
And we're gonna keep eliminating people, Mern. You might be new.
It's probably true. I get a phone call at like 6:30. Don't show tonight.
You've been let go.
Just stay home.
Okay. So Merc won both of his arena battles.
Yeah, I did.
Artemis was profiteering and offering psychic aid.
Yeah.
So I know that's where you guys left off.
Athena technically was going to go to the other house.
Where's my inventory?
Do we have the map somewhere?
All the old sheets thrown away.
She was going to
over there
Vincent. Nope. Moro's castle.
She's investigating.
So we
Moro's.
hadn't gone to Konstag yet, and she was going to go talk to Moro.
Okay.
So I don't know how you want to do that.
I will automate it,
Okay.
and I'll have her report back to you guys what she finds
So I
out.
think our discussion was, after I was done, were we gonna go to the alley? Were we gonna go tell him about the alley?
No, we're not involved in the alley.
But we're gonna go to Konstag and tell him the
Yeah,
information.
That's what we'll do.
There you go.
Okay. So let's reunite the group.
He lost it.
Great with hair though.
We will assume that the Kenku has slipped away into the city somewhere.
Yep.
To oblivion.
Mm-hmm.
Jumped into a portal. So
The
that
forces of
was-
Zoopnul claimed him or something of that
lured
nature.
him away.
Yeah. Okay. The arena matches are done. We'll say it's 2 in the afternoon. Ardith Bay is investigating House Morose and what their opinion would be on sending a delegation to its citywide council and or assisting in marching out to face the forces of Zoopnul. Got Golk and Hubert further researching. Hubert's taken on some insanity points, but he's still of sound mind. And Thomas, I forget what you were up to. What?
He was waiting for another meeting with Vincente,
Right.
I think.
Oh yeah, you had a follow-up meeting.
With the guy.
The
Six
guard
o'clock.
who's confiding in you. Yes. So you're awaiting your second rendezvous.
Yeah.
So let's just say you guys are now all outside of the arena. It is 3 in the afternoon. I believe you logged your gains, Artemis, for your wagers. Okay, very good. Mert, you receive a messenger from. Let's see. You receive a messenger from Jeremiah Eithan of House Eithan,
Okay.
promising you that for honoring his household in the arena, he will attend the next delegation and listen with open ears to whatever your party proposes.
Okay. Cool.
So
Awesome.
he's basically promised you of participating.
Cool.
So there's another house down. I'll put a check mark next to it.
All right. Perfect.
Okay. You guys are together. It's 3 in the afternoon.
Alright.
Should we go to Constag?
Yep.
Alright.
Okay.
Cool. Don't worry about it.
I just briefly explained to him.
Yep.
There you go. It's been explained.
You guys head to the northwestern pocket of the city.
Yep.
Yep. You've got nothing but time to kill until your next
Nothing
rendezvous.
but time.
Alright, so you cross the river, head past the Vincente Castle, the Temple de Zenio, through the town markets, past the lake, forging company, and a mining outfit, and eventually you see Castle Constag up against the city walls, forming this part of Stanton's defense. We'll just say, upon sharing that you have a message for the Lord, you're issued in without too much difficulty. The head of the household, Lord Victor Constag, is a grim man. He's got kind of black, lanky hair. His beard looks a little bit unkempt as of late, and he strikes you that he's consumed by some anxiety or worry as he rounds the hall to greet you within the confines of his house, and he says, "I've been told you have a message for me. Clearly, you're no Stantoners."
Oh, you're not leading this one?
Nope, I was gonna let you.
Oh, okay.
I just fought a couple of battles. I'm a little beat up.
Yeah.
Blood-stained armor and
Yeah,
stuff. Cool.
yeah.
That's
Alright.
true. We are not native to Stanton. We come from the east, from Autumndale.
Ah, yes. I've heard of such an area.
We are the ones responsible for calling the delegation of the council members.
Oh.
Surely you received.
Yes, it's on my writing desk, I'm sure, with some other documents. Well, I consumed by a personal matter right now, but I will make an effort to attend.
We have been fretting about town, trying to right some of these problems amidst the council members, and
Very noble of you.
we received word about your missing son.
You have news of Ian?
Yes. We have learned that he is being held in
Crime Alley.
Crimes
Alley.
Court.
Crimes Court.
Crimes
yes.
Court.
Over some gambling debts.
He stifles some reactions visibly as you tell him this. You hear mutterings of all the foolishness and other things like that. But he then folds his arms and says, their presence in town has been tolerated for must be some decades now. They've really improved the stability of the city in one respect. There's a certain, I don't want to say legitimacy, but a predictableness in what transgressions our fair city observes, and they have done much to assist the guards in some matters as long as they collect their own fees and make their profits, but this doesn't seem like their usual operating procedure. I'm sure they would have sent word to me personally if they had my son in their custody.
Well, we believe that they did, but another Lord Peter or something, right?
Yes.
Peter Pumpkin Eater?
Peter Olvin.
Yes. Lord
Right?
Peter Olvin has been working for the Dark Lord himself, and we believe that he intercepted this ransom note in order to further the problems of Stanton.
You believe that he did.
Well, I think we know.
We don't know.
We've already removed him, haven't we?
Yeah,
He's dead.
we don't know.
Oh.
You don't have evidence. You don't have
Alright.
the intercepted letters or
Correct,
anything like
correct.
that.
Or
He did try to kill us
Or do
in
I?
his castle.
Truly?
Yes, he sent us down a chute, and we fought garbage monsters, creatures
And this all reminds you.
of our nightmares.
I think actually the last thing I was doing, I was reviewing the letters I took from Olvin's desk.
Oh God!
Really?
You had to remind me of that now, Thomas.
Come up with them right now.
All right. You've gone through the letters. He didn't have any of the ransom letters, so he apparently was not involved in that. At least from what your theft of his correspondence could reveal. However, you do have some information about his doings. Most of them seem to be dispatches between one of these heralds of Zoopnul, giving him subtle directives and orders for what to conduct in the city. This generally was the overarching goal was to prevent such councils as you're trying to organize from taking place and promoting disunity, a lack of faith in fighting any warfare or anything of that nature. Just general prompts like that. And it looks like for a time he had been quite successful in receiving kind of flattering or some sort of indications of praise from the Zoopnul heralds. He does have a few receipts and business contracts with some of the merchants and outfitters in town, and he did have a proposed meeting with Sylvia Morose. Seems he was making overtures towards that household, but there's no responses from Morose that you have on the desk that you went through. Sylvia.
Okay.
What you could glean from that letter is that Morose seems to have become one of the more destitute households, and they have become short on coin. Okay, so that's what you've gotten from the letters. Well, these are These are quite the claims you make of Lord Olvin. I think he'll be in a position where he must come to the council with such charges against him.
Well, that'll be quite difficult as he's dead.
Is that so?
It is. We oppose any and all enemies of the Dark Lord.
Especially those who tried to murder us.
True. Although,
Okay.
that's not a direct death sentence.
There we go. That's what I was looking for. You've been doing most of the talking, Artemis. So, since you've spoken some pretty, I won't say outrageous things before the Lord, but things that do kind of lean on your bearing as far as how he reacts to it, I would like for you to make a will check.
And I shall.
Okay.
23.
Well, I appreciate what you are trying to do for the city. I can tell that you're not merely stirring up trouble for the sake of it. It distresses me that one of our own lords was this deep in conspiracy with some outside interests. I have long doubted the fact that there is some great lord stirring in the lost lands of Zooknul, but you say Autumndale has been put to the flame by such a force. This is something that cannot be ignored. However, it's difficult for me to move against Crime's court without surety that you know that he is in fact there. Now,
They are criminals. You are a lord of this city.
They are, but as I said, they have provided benefits to law and order. There's an organization that I think would benefit other towns under the right circumstances. Crime will never evaporate completely.
Do the other lords agree with your affection for these criminals?
Well, I think affection might be misplaced. If they do indeed hold my son, they only risk my wrath for such transgression of the normal boundaries, but it's still a difficult position. If I go down there and Ian's nowhere to be found, this could escalate into a much larger matter before we can even address this Dark Lord that you speak of.
And do you have any other leads about the potential whereabouts of your son?
The trails have gone cold. So
And yet I give you a fresh one and you refuse to act on it, so I do not know how much support you could even offer us in war for someone so weak-willed.
I'll have you leave now. I grow weary of your presence.
I'll leave.
Okay. Do you guys leave as well? Or do you stay?
I look at him a little longer.
What, a little longer?
I look at him a little longer.
Okay.
Corden would not want things this way. And then I walk off.
Okay.
Well, clearly they had problems besides the Dark Lord being involved.
Petty problems.
It seems, yes. Well,
So he doesn't even want his son back.
He's not going to great lengths to
Maybe-
get him back, that's
maybe
for certain.
He himself is under the influence of Zooknul.
It's possible.
it could be.
You could assassinate him.
I don't know if we have proof this time. The other one tried to murder us.
Well, this guy was pretty disheveled.
Yeah. What's up with that?
Why
That's
so
true.
disheveled?
Yeah.
That is true.
You don't have Ardith Bay's legendary perception to assist you. Which of you had the highest perception?
What is perception?
It is
I
on
have
your
an
character
empty- I
sheet.
have an empty circle.
Is that 13?
Equal to your intellect usually.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
13.
Yeah.
don't have much.
12.
You have certain class features that can aid it, but and religion perks too.
I mean,
You have the highest word.
if it's mostly passive, yeah, it's 13.
Yeah, I mean, unless you're like actively investigating something, I'm never gonna have you roll perception. Okay. You got the impression that the man might have been imbibing in drink early in the day.
And we came and told them this
Right, so he's
earth-shattering
probably been
news.
drinking for a while. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I will say of something like that. He may
Yeah.
have been under an influence of something less sinister than the Dark Lord.
Perhaps a gateway to the Dark Lord.
Well,
Like Dungeons and Dragons.
That's right.
like Dungeons and Dragons.
Yep.
Well, hold on. So at the end of the day, did he agree to at least come to these meetings? Call upon him? Because we wanted to help him find his son, so you would trust us, right?
I don't think he agreed to anything.
Yeah, no. He said that he'd make every effort to attend.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Ethan,
I don't think it's good.
I mean,
Ethan
accomplished-
actually said he will come because of what I did. This guy just said he understands the urgency of the situation.
And I'll share that I found a letter to Sylvia Morose.
What's the
in,
letter say?
Morgan's. I mean, it's just as a proposed meeting. I think so. Maybe he was trying to like meet with the house, maybe spread
Yeah.
darkness.
So it was a letter
It was a letter he was drafting.
Oh,
And
okay.
he's promising the requested financial assistance. So apparently she was asking for a loan or for coin. Yeah.
So it hadn't happened yet.
But I mean, if this house is so poor, do they have anything to contribute to our cause?
No, except for their support.
But what is their support worth?
Like, to bring everybody together. Or get as many votes as we need.
What? Vote on what? I mean, they each have their own military.
Yeah, that's true.
Yes,
They
one-
could each independently support.
That's why we're going to all of them, so that we get as many soldiers.
That is
I
true.
wonder if a poor house could still have soldiers.
I doubt it. You gotta pay them, you gotta feed them, you gotta keep them on deck.
Maybe they have too many soldiers and they can't afford all of them.
Well, then the other houses should buy them up.
Is it like
Or
a
we
is
could
it like a
buy-
castle where all the soldiers live on the castle?
Every
Or we
lordship
could buy
has an
up their
estate
soldiers.
in
I don't
town.
have any money.
Got a little. I could hire like 2,
Yeah,
maybe 10.
for a year.
Would that how long we need them?
Who knows how long we need them?
But we don't want to lead them in particular into battle anyway. This is really for their own good.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's for their own good. So I
Yeah,
don't know.
we're just biding time until Hubert tells us how to close the portals.
Well, no. As soon as we're done here, we're riding to Blue Cape.
And then what?
Then we get all their soldiers ready to go.
All the
And
while,
hope Zooknul has not infiltrated it.
all the while
Well,
Hubert
yeah, we're gonna have to clear that.
is researching.
Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe we just do this Vicenze or whatever. How?
Oh yeah, see what he's got to say.
'Cause he seems pretty shady.
Or well, hold on. Well, yeah, Vincente is definitely Dark Lord.
Definitely
He's a
known
he's a-
Dark
he's a
Lord.
known skull.
Yeah.
You flip his
No
card.
one's hiding
He's
out.
definitely
bringing in
got
all
a
these
skull.
curtains.
I forgot what we were meeting again for. Unless it's just like I was gonna let
Well-
you guys in on what was going on and see what we wanted to do.
Well, I mean, so the last time you met with the one guard, who basically the first time you came up to the gates, he wasn't in a position to reveal anything to you.
No.
Right.
And then at your last meeting, he told you a lot, pretty much everything that he knew about what was
Yeah.
going on, and said that, okay, tomorrow if I have something more for you. So he's gonna keep looking into things.
Okay.
Yeah. He's your little agent within the castle.
Did he say he was going to arrange a meeting for me with someone in the house?
He did say that.
Oh yeah, he said he was going to come back with the daughter, if possible, of the Lord. Yes.
Okay. Oh, and I do have a prickly treasure to look for.
Yes, you do.
You truly do.
If we have time, I'd like you to do that.
What?
The prickly treasure.
I got it from the temple.
You got a prickly treasure?
He got
No,
a
I got
prickly
directions to a prickly treasure.
Where?
I have to go south and follow the creek to a large stump.
I'm sure that's quite important to you.
Paramount.
Yes.
Okay.
Might be a cactus.
It's something we can do. I don't think it's too far out there.
Well, what time are you having another meeting?
6 o'clock. It was the same time as the other.
It's
time.
like 4-ish now.
I don't know if we have time for that.
Later. After the meeting.
Alright.
Okay.
Then I'm gonna go to that little outhouse, that house wolf, and I'll just meditate.
Yeah. You find it beneficial and feel yourself drawing closer to your own spiritual independence and zeal. So it's a good exercise, and you feel like if you could make this a routine, at least while you're in Stanton, it would be beneficial. So, yeah. Okay. 6 o'clock hits. Hubert and Golk return from the library, and you begin looking for your choice guard at the Grand Stanton Inn. Okay. And I believe, all you guys are pretty much there at this point. Okay. I'm trying to recall what your most recent charge for Hubert's research direction was. Was it about the portals themselves?
Well, the first day he didn't find really anything. on it.
Right.
Well,
we wanted him to double down on the
He had
portals.
more. He had like the had a little bit more information about like the Dark Lord's identity for you, but yeah, he didn't know the mechanisms of the portals.
Portals is our primary.
Okay.
That's one thing we don't know how to handle.
Yeah.
Yep.
Doom Eternal.
Couple months. So excited.
It's got to be one of your more anticipated
Oh,
games
yeah.
this year.
It's pretty hype.
Will it be better than the other one?
The last one.
The last one? That was pretty good, most people said.
It's gonna be tough. I mean, he gets like a sword this time, so that's kind of cool. You like actually see his face in like the trailer. Pretty wild.
I never played that game, but I heard everybody who played it said they really... The last one, I mean.
Yeah, it's one of the best first-person shooters in a long
That's what-
time. Trying to get my dad to play XCOM 2.
He'd like it.
Because he's sort of done with real-time stuff. It's too stressful.
Do you still play Civ?
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
back into Civ now.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Same developer.
he's like, what about turn-based, what other turn-based? I'm like, get
Yeah.
XCOM 2.
Heck go.
That
Yeah.
shit.
I debate on getting into that Phoenix Point or whatever it is.
Yeah, right now.
No.
No, right now.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's like, yeah.
Even like the super fans are like,
Yeah.
not right now.
Wait and see.
Yeah.
Hubert's got some really good information for you.
Here we go.
He also has taken on an additional 5 insanity.
Oh, man.
He retreated it by 1 last session, so his new insanity total is 8.
Where do you gotta kill his insanity?
I will.
What's his maximum
What
insanity?
is mine?
So, yes, he.
As he's speaking, he just feels like my hand nearby him, like a warmth,
nice fur.
and he feels a little calmer. So
Okay.
Cure lets me remove 1 insanity.
Oh, good. That retreats it by another.
Yeah. So he just he might be like all the thoughts he's been thinking are a little crazier, and now it's
Trust me, what he has to say is a little crazy.
Yeah, there you go.
So, the book that had this information didn't physically exist in the library itself, but he learned an incantation to summon like a scroll that had this information on it, so he had to cast it. Golk's just nodding approvingly that he bore witness to this.
He's casting spells.
Yep. Alright,
He's going too powerful.
so yes. Hubert believes that there are indeed 4 portals. They will all be within a 13-mile radius of each other. He believes they will form a diamond-shaped pattern. So if you find one, it won't be too difficult to find the others.
Yeah,
He also believes they'll likely be well guarded, of course, and will be at an unknown interval, causing new demons or void entities to come through to serve in the Dark Lord's army. Nothing short of extremely dangerous magic could destroy one of these from our world, he says. Something that would likely have to be so powerful that it would level anything for just miles and miles in any direction. So,
Okay.
But if you do have something of that potency, he thinks it could destroy one of the portals.
Not yet.
Yep. It is more viable to go inside of the portal to undermine its connection to our world from the other side, of which you have 2 methods of doing so. Each portal has a warden kind of supervising it from the other side, known as a star spawn. If you slay this creature, over time the portal's stability will likely become too great and it will eventually implode and no longer be there. So that would be one way.
How
of
much
doing
time? 1,000 years?
it.
10,000 years?
No, he says in a matter of days.
Oh, okay.
The other method would be to discover the sigil stone within the portal and simply remove it from its pedestal. These sigil stones have basically the power of like several stars inside of them and are necessary for maintaining the energy barrier to transgress the realm. So if you basically remove it from this critical spot, it will almost instantly sever the connection. But he says, in all likelihood, these will be either right next to or under the careful eye of the star spawn and whatever creatures you find going through on that side.
Would we be able to leave?
He does not know. He says this is the obscurest of the obscure information that he has found.
Okay, but
He does have this to say.
yeah.
He has nothing to believe from his readings that there would be any instant harm to you going through the portal. He said it will certainly be mentally jarring to you. It will certainly be a difficult ordeal, but it shouldn't do anything like cause you not to be able to breathe or just rejumble your body parts or anything. There's nothing to suggest that this should happen to you.
Alright, well, at least we know it's possible.
If all 4 of such portals are closed, I believe that would eventually end the threat of this opener of the way. He is dependent upon these portals for bringing in minions that are loyal to him. And regrettably, if they are open for too long, Elabar himself may appear in our world.
Okay.
Who?
How
This
long,
is the name of the Dark Lord.
How long would that take?
I will need more time to research.
Alright.
Hopefully my information has been worth perhaps a special consideration for my next meal.
Gosh, I don't know.
Goodness.
What can we spare?
We're gonna need every coin we can
Yeah,
get.
I know. Money is valuable in this.
What's your normal ration, Hubert?
He's been having about 5 silver a day, which he says is adequate. He doesn't like to complain, but
I'll throw in 3 gold.
this is most wonderful. Thank you.
I'll throw an additional 2 gold.
Oh. All right. He regained another sanity point, and he grows a little bit. You see him like visibly grow in front of you. I believe he wears clothes now. I think Ardith Bay purchased. Yeah, she purchased him an outfit before you guys left Autumndale. Yep, and now he prefers to stand bipedally now. He no longer is going quadruped form.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
He's a proper like Peter Rabbit now.
Mm.
Yep.
if there's this timer that these portals are open, eventually the opener of the way himself will show up and catastrophe will ensue.
Sure.
And these forces over in Zukumul are working to his benefit. Why are they launching raids on villages and shit?
An excellent question. I could speculate, but that is some,
Besides just recon.
That'll be for the glory of.
Oh, burn a village to
Fear.
the ground for recon.
Be for the glory of.
it is
Dark Lord.
possible that the agents of the Dark Lord are recruiting all manner of evil forces that can provide other rewards in the time being. But if they bring more under their sway, then goals that have nothing to do with the Dark Lord appearing may ultimately aid them if all civilization collapses near the lands of the portals.
So we're really dealing with like 2 threats.
So closing the portals doesn't even stop.
What's in
So
there?
that is what would stop
Oh.
the Dark Lord from.
But
But there'd still be all these.
Their
The corruption is
Yeah.
here already.
Like the
Yeah.
orcs are still
Like
raiding.
closing the portals doesn't kill the opener of the way.
Doesn't it?
No,
No,
it
just
prevents
keeps
him
him
from
from
being
coming
able to
back.
manifest.
For now,
Yeah.
we still have to stop all the influence and stuff.
But technically, that's the most. If he comes
What
in,
about that sigil?
we can't even.
What's Sigma?
The sigil I heard about. Sigil stone, maybe?
Yeah, you can go through the portal,
Those
remove
are
the
ancient
sigil
portals.
stone.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how you destroy the portal.
That's one way.
What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
Like, you ever played Pandemic, the game?
You ever played Oblivion?
Yeah. Is it more like
You have to get the cure for the disease first, which is, closing the portal gives us time to deal with the infection. If we deal with the infection, he just gives him time to come in and
No, I mean I agree.
run train.
It would be good to close the
That's
portals.
something we can do ourselves.
The portals.
Yeah.
More than the infection right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Well, like, look at what we're dealing with here.
yeah.
In this city, how long a time we're spending, not to say that it's wasted, because we've discovered now how much his influence goes, but we can't go to every city, us 3 or 4, and do this. It just doesn't work. We can make aware the rest of the people, but that doesn't change that
we are too few.
the cells are already there undercover working.
Okay, so then we want to close portals.
Yes,
Okay, so we make that our priority.
that becomes priority.
Do you notify them?
Well,
Just march into Zukumul.
yeah. Airship.
Okay.
Warrior's Corner.
Does
Well,
that exist in this?
Last time
universe?
we found we found the land ship. And
the,
then we
the
converted
land
it.
ship. Yeah.
We build it from the ground up. That's a lot of money.
Yeah. We don't have that kind of money.
You'd have to do a lot of fudged arena battles. And find as many different bookies as possible as you clean them up.
And hope the town doesn't
Yeah.
turn against us
Yeah,
when
Well,
or you do like a grand caper.
it's possible the land ship is buried somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
This is the same
This-
world.
This is after that time, obviously. So yeah,
That Hubert researched airships.
that wouldn't be a bad idea.
It's like,
And
think
that's
of it
less-
as XCOM, and you just keep giving more resources to the little rabbit
That's
in the one
right.
section who's
That's
just
right.
reading books, yeah.
Because otherwise, we're on foot,
And that will take.
marching through Zuknul,
Yeah.
where they have orcs
Now,
and demons pouring out of
not to
portals,
metagame it, but who recalls the airship? Would there have been more than one? Only him who had memories of Artemis
I feel
could
like
recall.
somebody would have
it.
been influenced after it was created.
So would there be more
I
airships?
mean, obviously, they're not plentiful,
Right.
Yeah.
but somebody must have sketched that.
I mean, this is Final Fantasy sets are like there's only a couple of them.
Right, yeah, it's a special thing.
It's a special thing. So I mean, what I'm saying is, how much knowledge of those would we have to ask Hubert about?
If not Blue Cape.
Well, I mean, I'm Artemis.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's what I meant. Like, would you have gotten some premonition of that memory?
Some distant memories.
Right. Which I'm fine with. I'm just asking. That would be to ask him something would have to be some recollection of something.
Well, Ziggy,
You guys gotta ask me through a character.
Does my
you
character-
can't ask me.
does my character recall adventures on an airship in any sense?
Okay.
From another life, do I recall being in the air?
And we're talking about travel.
Yeah.
So we're sparking
and
the
scouting out of
right, and like,
research.
how can we
Okay.
be faster at this? Horse or by foot? It's not
Yeah.
going to do it.
We're also just saying, like, in character, has any of us heard of the concept of an airship? Or
That's less likely, but yes.
But the idea of faster travel,
I'll say this.
and we're talking about portals, which are travel
The
as well.
concept of a flying ship is all known to you.
Okay.
There you go.
It's in stories and
Okay.
in some histories, although the authenticity of the histories might be debated. And there are even some rumors that throughout the lands, occasionally, reclusive princes, secret dwarven companies, there are basically some groups that still actually have working ones today. So, and as far as any memories of where to find one, how to build one, Artemis, you do feel an instinct to go back to the chapel and think on it there.
I must think.
Yeah. So we'll assume then once you've had like your evening meal at the grandstand and you
Yeah.
will return there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I won't return until I know something.
Okay. Yeah, you can sequester yourself
That's
in there
right.
as long as you need to. Okay. Well, Thomas, how long will you wait for your guard? He could arrive at 6:01. I'm just
Oh, I was
asking.
gonna say like an
I'm
hour.
asking this just preemptively so that I know what you're willing to commit to.
I was prepared. I would say at least an hour.
Okay. You guys have your meal. Were you insisting on all of your companions to be present for the dinner? Or are you going to let Artemis go to his meditations when he's done eating?
You're gonna allow him to go to meditation?
Yeah. I asked that in as confrontational a way
Yeah.
as I could. Yeah.
You're gonna be like,
I've
"You're
invited them."
staying
You've invited them to bear witness to the meeting?
to the meeting.
Okay.
Okay.
Artemis, you've concluded eating and there's no guard yet, so
More important business.
okay.
You'll be fine.
Artemis excuses himself.
Okay.
Ardith Bay returns from her meeting with House Morose.
All right.
She describes she did arrange an audience with the leader. She said it was actually surprisingly easy to find her,
Okay.
get access to her. She describes Sylvia Morose as a bitter woman.
Oh.
She talked at lengths about her bloodline being one of the oldest of noble rank in Stanton, and that they have indeed fallen on hard times. She would be happy to commit all of her household soldiers to the cause, as Ardith Bay articulated it to her. But she will need one of two things. A large purse of gold.
Okay.
Or a symbol of authority. And Ardith Bay explains that there are some old artifacts that go back to the time when Stanton was ruled by one king. And Sylvia claims that House Moros was in fact of that royal line before it disintegrated to the oligarchy here. And that such items are in existence and by ancient law would denote, at least in Sylvia Moros's mind, a great reward and instant prestige and respect within Stanton. So, as to the location of these, what they look like, Sylvia gave a few different examples, but the one she kept returning to is a simple crown that has 4 sapphire gems in it, one at each point, and she says that it's cast in like platinum and silver, and any proper historian, treasure finder, noble of Stanton would instantly recognize it if it were found. So that's what House Moros wants to join, to pledge their support.
The bag, the big bag of money, was there a price, like an amount that she was?
Yeah.
Just so we have a. That crown sounds very valuable, priceless, but also could be very valuable on its own.
Yeah.
She could offer up 250 soldiers, which will march with the cause, but in order to keep them fed and provided their service does not extend beyond 1 year of service, offering much of her own money as well, she would unfortunately be compelled to ask no less than 1,000 gold pieces.
Okay. Yeah.
Or we find a crown.
Or you find a crown.
Or
Or you forge a crown.
Ooh, force crown.
Platinum?
Can't do that.
Which he's never seen before.
Yeah, where are we gonna get platinum?
No, I mean your ability.
It lasts for like a minute.
You give it to her. She
And we
gives,
knock her
she
out.
gives the command. All her soldiers heard it. And then
No
we
take back.
silence it.
Yeah.
And then the soldiers know what their last command was.
Yep.
To assist us.
It's pretty specific.
Is it really only a minute? That was like
It depends on the quality of the
an
material.
encounter or something. That's old.
It's
old ways.
prohibitively valuable if he makes an authentic facsimile of it.
Which I could, but it's a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Problem is, like, there's no money in being a good guy.
Well, I wouldn't say that's true, but it's more difficult for good guys to
Anything
make
I can
money.
think of to make quick money is pretty evil.
Crooked.
Yeah.
In the traditional way that good parties make money is clearing dungeons and bringing back treasures and
Right.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Which would make us, which we could find money that way.
You could.
too, because
Could
the
find
treasure
treasure.
would be found.
It's a little dangerous.
Yeah,
Just-
it is.
Just ransack Olvin's castle.
We should find someone that wants Olvin dead. And then say we'll kill him for the price.
For a contract, that's not a bad idea.
Where are we gonna find that?
Does anyone in the town have a problem with Olvin?
Again, you can't ask the DM.
No,
that.
no,
You
no,
have
no.
to ask the
I'm saying that to
character.
them. I mean, but that's one thing. That's
Yeah.
one.
But I mean, to kill a lord, that's worth a lot of money.
To who?
Why did you do it for free?
No,
don't
Thomas
know. I didn't
realized
know we
we
needed it.
did
It's
tell.
fresh, yeah, it's
we
still
also
fresh.
did tell one of the lords we did it already.
True.
We told Constag we did it.
Yeah, and he was so ungrateful.
Yeah, he did not
He
really
didn't do shit.
flinch.
Yep.
And we can just ransack Olvig's home.
We can, yeah.
Take all his priceless
Olvins?
cutlery.
Or
Yeah,
Constance?
Olvin.
Yeah, we killed.
All of them we got
Well,
killed.
he's got guards.
Think they're still hanging around?
I don't
Well,
know.
you guys talked with the steward about what he thought they would do,
Mhm.
and he honestly couldn't really say.
Yeah.
He says it's like an unprecedented situation. He is not heading back into the castle, though.
No.
You guys left him at the Temple of Cordan.
I mean, that is one
I think
idea.
you left him to like his own devices
Well,
at that
I think-
point. He had
yeah,
cooperated
I'm
with
gonna
you.
be
Yeah.
Pretty much stay safe
You
wherever he...
guys could just
Yeah,
go
we could
look.
go there and
Just kinda
say
see
we want to
what's
talk to
going on.
the Lord. or
Yes,
something.
yeah, you want to talk to the Lord and see what happens.
Yeah, see what they say.
I mean, it's not a bad idea.
I mean, if they're like,
Just read
It's
it.
all any money that's there has been from the Dark Lord, so
So
we
is
just...
this to say Vincente's man never showed up?
Sean?
Well, Artemis left
Mhm.
after about like 45 minutes, and I'll say he hasn't shown up as of that juncture.
As of 6 or as of 7?
As of 6:45, he has not showed up.
That does not bode well. Your man is dead.
Maybe he's been intercepted.
Very possible.
Yeah.
Mm.
That is another problem that could be dealt with.
We'll find someone who wants him dead.
These are all ideas.
I think the Olvin thing is a good one, for sure.
Yeah, look into him,
Because
and we'll go find it.
His house.
You know, you
he is-
convinced everybody with your first dark Agent of Zoopnul claim when you got into the castle.
Mhm.
Try again.
I barely got out.
Yeah, and they might be looking for you now.
Yeah, I
That
think
is
I
true.
didn't
Yeah.
convince everyone.
No.
No.
I think it's better if you just read the room while I go look for a prickly treasure. I might find a cactus.
Otherwise, we could just rob a bank or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't.
The
feel
Temple of Cordan.
I don't feel so great. I don't feel so great about that.
Who's your least favorite god? We'll rob them.
One that I must worship.
Yeah.
Xenio.
I gotta go look at the
Xenio, yeah.
rewards again.
Let's fuck that up.
They're,
Oh, wait, no,
they're warriors, though.
his temple's the arena. Oh, the coffers of the arena. Well, yeah, we could rob that.
That's we're teetering on some dangerous things there.
It's for the greater good.
I understand that. I'm just saying that chances are they've got lots of bouncers and stuff like that.
Well, we wouldn't just attack them. It's a theft,
I know.
not a mugging.
If you're stealing for the greater good,
Yeah,
is
exactly.
that evil?
It's all forgiven.
Robin Hood addressed that long ago, didn't he?
Right. Cordan forgives.
If we steal from a dark house,
Well, that's why I say we
Well,
should
that's
we
what
should go to Olvin.
yeah,
that should
we'll
be our
try to
first
loot
step
his place.
before stealing from the temples that hopefully are all
Yeah,
still
yeah.
good.
Well, I'm meditating, so.
Yeah.
You wanna go find that prickly treasure?
Sure.
Nice side quest.
Yeah. Well, and if there's no
Glad.
yeah, especially if there's
Might be
no
valuable.
no guy showed up. I know.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
why.
this will solve our money
It's
problem.
the crown.
Yeah.
It's the
It's
It's
the crown.
quickly. Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Well, and if Estelle, not to say that everything that Estelle gives you is treasure, but it could be options for us. Maybe maps. You would be the guy that might help us find stuff like that.
Yep.
Gulk might be someone we talk to about that too.
You can talk to Golk about anything.
Yeah.
He's always willing to talk.
So, Gulk knows clearly how to grease some
He knows.
palms and make some money.
Oh yeah.
Greasy palms. That's what they call
Maybe we just threaten somebody with the white dragon snow globe.
How would that work?
I mean, it's not really a threat until you believe that it exists.
Say, give us all your money, or we'll throw you in the snow globe.
You know, they'll just laugh at you.
That's true.
Then you do it.
Well, then there you
Laughter stops.
go. Then it's not much of a threat.
That's true.
It's
And
a
you-
promise.
Promise.
All right,
Yeah.
the prickly pear.
Alright, yep. We go.
So it's 6:45.
Okay. And you guys wander off to look for a prickly
Following
treasure.
the map.
Okay. Well, you can leave through the town's
Okay.
third. Well, you'll have to leave through the Andros Road.
Okay.
That's like in the south western corner, but then you can kind of cut back over to the river. It's not too far from the inn.
Okay.
Ardith Bay expressed a curiosity in the treasure, so she's going to help try and guide for the treasure. So
Okay.
you'll benefit from her nature and perception.
Alright.
You guys make it to the creek, and now it's just a matter of following along until you notice a stump of particular size, from what I understand. Okay.
Large stump.
A large stump indeed.
Not like if Phil was here. A large dump, indeed.
A large stump. Wow.
Did someone poop in or around Phil's door once?
What?
Thomas, I feel like you need to explain this further unless you brought it
What?
Not
At one of the
not
cabin
in
trips?
in character, not out of character.
Oh.
Oh.
In that Warhammer campaign,
In or around his door.
someone was
Sounds
pooping.
kind of
Someone
familiar.
was
That
pooping,
sounds
I
kind
think.
of familiar.
And I don't know if he was doing the pooping or he was getting pooped upon.
I don't know what's more likely.
Or did he walk in on someone pooping and murdered him?
I swear, I think he was doing the poop. Like Reginald, he had some kind of beef with Reginald, and like to try to get back at him, he like pooped somewhere and then it backfired. I don't know what happened, but there's definitely pooping involved.
It does sound familiar, but there's so many.
I wish I could remember.
Okay. You guys wander south of town for about half an hour. It's been fairly easy so far because there has not been really any trees right along the river itself, mainly shrubs and other things of that nature. However, you've reached a point now where you definitely hit a little thicket. You see more and more. There's trees leaning over the creek, some kind of stunted, coming right out of the water, some in little marshy areas. And indeed, you see a number of stumps. Ardith Bay is confident this is the area that you will find it, although she is not going to venture a judge as to which stump is the correct one. Thomas, I would take an intellect check from... is your name Merrick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I will take an intellect check from Merrick as he goes looking for some. What tier of Estelle are you?
I think all of us were one.
You're all tier 1? Okay.
Unless you've told us.
Alright, nope, then go ahead.
And I wish I don't remember what the benefit for tier 1 was.
I can look it up.
Okay. Yeah, I used to be a lot
I
smarter
had it.
before the revamp.
Oh,
A natural 1.
yeah. Well, then.
Okay. You lock eyes on a stump and are convinced that is the one. You will not be dissuaded other. You must reach inside it.
So,
There's a hole in it.
T1.
There is
Okay, listen to this, too. T1 is restless. Whenever an enemy's attack misses, you gain +1 to your next attack and damage.
Yeah.
T2, searcher. When looking for an item known or reasonably believed to exist in a location, you're guaranteed to find it.
But your noble-hearted pursuit of something you want might get you to tier 2, but you have to reach into the stump first.
Reach in.
Alright, I'll reach in.
Alright.
And then
Unfortunately, Thomas, your eyes were deceived, and I'm going to have to set up the board.
Oh, man.
You're gonna pull out that book?
You know, I think this is an excellent opportunity to pull out a
You
book.
could pull out one of the little ones if you don't need too big. It's up to you.
No, I want the full size.
Then it's.
Lost it all.
I don't know where it is. It was here. You want of these? Yeah.
Oh, I see. Let me look at the templates here.
Maybe I should open these now so that.
Oh, this should work. Well, let me look at this. Ooh. Yeah. Alright.
I'm just meditating.
Meditating and smoothies
And,
are synergetic.
Thomas is just sticking his hand in stumps. He likes that.
How does one even do that?
How does one even stick a hand into a stump?
When you roll a 1, anything is possible.
Anything can happen.
Anything's possible at 1 or 20. It's just how good the possibility is to you. All right, let's get miniatures.
Okay.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, look at this. Perfect.
Look
It's
at
perfect.
that.
Here's the
I
creek.
lo-
There's Stumpville.
No, Mert, I'm already loving this. It's good.
What? Why? I don't know what you need.
This will be the stump.
Okay.
Okay.
This stuff.
Let's put the stump there.
Thomas is.
Someone with a small base and a sword.
Sure. This guy. I'll just. Is Ardith considered here or not?
No,
Okay.
she's not participating in battle.
Okay.
She wandered off to go tend to some like wounded elk or something.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'll be this stuff.
Okay.
What is this dog-faced swordsman?
It's like a knight.
Oh, it's a helmet. Yeah.
Thomas, unfortunately, you were not reaching into a tree stump.
This is
You
Oh,
were
that's actually perfect.
Yeah, isn't it? Two-handed.
Yeah.
Just take that.
you reached into the trunk, a small little recess underneath the dome of an enormous mushroom. And as you do so, you see a cloud of spores get released in a basically surrounding it in a 3-yard radius.
Right, so I get spored. We all get spored.
You and Mert get spored. I need a strength check from the two of you.
Good.
Okay.
It's my fault.
Crit fail.
21.
Oh, okay.
Alright.
So technically a 2.
Mert, you take 11 damage.
Oh!
Thomas, you take 5 damage.
Okay.
It's instantly searing your lungs,
Okay.
like as you like breathe it in, and it stands up a little bit more to its proper height, and it clearly means to do battle with you. So, combat has begun.
Alright.
Jeez.
Yep.
Not
Let me review my spells.
great.
This is a fungal Hulk you are fighting.
My goodness.
Yep.
Y'all fucked up.
Yep.
I wonder if it's immune to lightning.
Ones are a joyous thing.
It
for
always
DM.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love it.
I mean, I think I gotta go fast.
Now, the benefit, you guys did take on the spores, but you're both in melee range yourselves.
Right.
So you could make it pay for what it did.
Yeah. Are the spores actually affecting us permanently, like
so,
over time? Or was it just more of a one-hit puff of?
You're in a little bit of a cloud.
Okay.
And since you're within the cloud,
You're
you can
okay.
see it fine.
Okay.
It's more of an obscurement thing for people outside.
Okay.
But I'll give you the benefit of that metadata that it's now that you've taken the damage, it's not something where you feel like it's getting worse as you stay in there.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, but I'm not getting it as thick as I'd like.
That's okay. Beggars can't be choosers.
Well,
right?
I'll go. I'll definitely go fast.
Okay.
Yo, what?
I'll
He's
definitely
going. He's
go
taking a
fast.
fast act. Do you remember how the turns work, Thomas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta definitely
Fast.
go
Yeah,
fast.
Then it is between the two of you. Who goes first?
You can go first.
So, am I to believe that cumbersome Bane?
You have a cumbersome weapon.
Yeah, does that mean it's a Bane?
Do you want a reminder of what cumbersome means?
Yeah, is that just a Bane?
I'll tell. Yeah, that is one base bane when using that weapon.
Alright, so I don't have time to cast Spellbound Weapon. So I'm just gonna
You
make
have time to cut this mushroom in half.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna take a swing at it. I have one natural boon for my class and the one Bane, so it's just a raw roll.
Yeah. Good luck.
14.
Okay. I
Oh, that hits.
Good.
Yeah. You roll 3d6 for your base damage, I know.
And I add one more.
Nice.
So 4 total d6.
That is some big potential.
I'll take some more of these.
Alright.
1, 2, 3. Oh, there we go. Second one. Yeah. Looks pretty good. 8. 17.
That is pretty good. Okay, you have a great sword, I think. Yep. You slash into it. It bleeds out some fungal fluid all over the place, and you can see him kind of like you've staggered it. So it was an effective attack.
Guys, stump.
Thank you. It is Mert's turn.
Okay. I'm gonna do Fang of the
That is
Serpent.
Very refreshing. In the dead of winter, that nice fruity blast. That's what you live for.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. We'll do Fang of the Serpent again.
Is there grapefruit in there?
Oh, let me guess what fruit you mean.
I guess the dairy substitute gives it. Yeah, definitely. Interesting. It's good.
15.
Versus
For-
defense.
Yeah. Versus,
Oh yeah.
Is it 2d6?
Is that peach I detect?
No.
Mango?
12 damage.
Mango and strawberry?
And
And
Banana.
Orange?
no. It's another citrus.
Oh, I haven't tasted it yet. Strawberry.
Pretty well. They said that.
We've
Yeah.
got mango and strawberry so far. What else is citrus? There's no way you put lemons in it.
Nope. It's not just plain orange.
Maybe it's not citrus. I don't know. I don't know the classification. It's pretty
Pineapple?
common fruit. There you
Pineapple.
go. Yeah.
That is on a border. We said I don't know if it is.
That tastes
Like,
pretty
that's
good.
kind of a pineapple. It's in between.
That is a very good use of pineapple.
I did 12.
Mang is a man about his pineapple.
I do like pineapple.
I know. Yeah. Okay. You guys are doing some good damage to this.
And I moved away. 10.
Okay.
What did you
feet.
do to it?
Hit it for 12.
Oh, wow, it kills you, Annie.
It's still standing.
I'm gonna hit that electric eel skin.
Okay. He is going to attack Thomas, as he is in his melee range. I have to move you 20. Oh, there it is. He's attacking you with appendage. Thomas, I need to know your defense.
15.
The big, this big like mushroom meat arm wishes past you and misses. And it is your guys' turn.
Well, it's a new round.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll
Yep.
go fast.
Pass.
You can go. You start again.
Alright. I'll swing at it again. Die, stump. 18.
It hits.
$13 damage.
You chop off another huge section of it. It's looking a shadow of its former self, but it's still alive.
Okay. I'm just gonna heal because
Oh.
that thing wrecked me. Well, I did fast. I can't. I'm out of range now, so I have to heal myself. So
Thomas, it never leaves your threat range. So you do not get knocked. I need strength checks from both of you.
think you're going to hit again.
No. 13.
22.
Okay. You both take 3 damage as it issues more spores. Thomas. Or Mert. It's a new round.
Fast again.
Yep. Fast.
Up to you guys.
Thomas can go again.
It's 19.
Mm-hmm.
Another hit.
You're rolling really well.
Those green dice.
Except for that one that...
That one that
Yeah.
spawned close.
That created this problem, yeah.
Oh man. Well,
I feel like he created the problem and I wasn't even paying attention, so then I roll a 1.
15. 15 more damage.
My God. He's dead.
Sweet,
You
so that's
annihilated
pretty
that
sweet.
thing. You did like 50 damage over the course of 3 rounds.
This
That was
is
really
way better than I recall
Yeah.
combat in this game going.
No.
I remember it being a lot harder normally.
Yep.
Like
I
Red
could have
Sword
done
was
double
really good.
attack one time, but since it opened with a free corrosive spores round, I didn't do it.
It almost killed me.
I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
Like,
it was
I
said,
ain't
I
kidding.
said this
I have
is so
13
easy.
HP. It hit me for 11.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
And I healed so that I could be at 4 and you hit me for 3 more.
Right.
I had
Wow.
1 HP.
Never mind. I guess it wasn't that much of a blowout.
Not for me.
Yeah.
You didn't get touched. Except for
I took
those
8.
spores.
I took 8.
Oh, did you?
But I have 22.
So
Okay. Well, you guys
that wasn't the right stump.
slew a fungal Hulk,
Alright.
which is definitely a menace to anybody who is unfortunate enough to come by it in these
Yep.
parts. So you've done the community a little bit of a service, and you're free to continue looking at stumps.
I wonder if anyone would pay to see a dead fungal Hulk. Alright. I'll be like, alright, what other stumps are on here? I'll
Okay.
look for the next biggest stump.
Eventually, you find a stump that feels right to you. It is hollow and may be reached into.
Okay, I say, get ready. I'll reach in.
Okay. You feel a little prick. It doesn't do damage, but something prickly is inside.
I try to lift it up carefully.
Okay. You found what seems to be an extremely exotic fruit.
Huh.
It was also resting on like a strange bed of like a very fine kind of powdery substance underneath. All within the stump.
How much powder are we talking?
You'll have to kind of like lean inside the. Yeah, you have to like kind of like put your hands on it and kind of like.
I'll smell the powder.
Okay.
It's cocaine.
It's odorless. Kind of almost smells like sugar.
Oh.
Like sugar doesn't really have a smell, but like you can see like the particles are like that
It
fine.
reminds me
Grainy.
Put it to
Like
the
that. So not like flour.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
I mean, why would someone lead me to the fruit? How would they even know the fruit would not be decayed? Is the fruit decayed?
I mean, if it's a.
It looks
Magical fruit.
it looks exceedingly delicious.
I mean, and
It's
it was.
pleasing to the eye.
Well,
Ardith Bay rejoins you.
maybe someone would want to purchase something like this.
I'll ask her. Does this appear natural to you?
She asked if she can inspect it.
I
Okay.
hand it over.
She says this sounds a lot like a certain kind of fruit that she did not believe was possible to be found in Borelian. And it is renowned for its legendary healing properties.
And what do you make
When
of
properly prepared.
legendary healing fruit?
Yes.
And what do you make of the powder?
That she like scoops up some and then like rests it in like her palm. And she says, "I have no idea what to make of this."
Should taste it. I'm at 1 HP.
That's a good idea.
I'm not gonna taste it.
I'll
It has like a glitter to it. Like it sparkles at any sort of light.
Maybe it's not a food.
collect
Might
it.
not be.
I'll see if I might not eat it. Let me
Yeah, if it doesn't,
I'll just collect it for now.
it's
If I
probably
have,
good. It's
something
probably a
to
good
put it
idea.
in.
All right.
If I have like a little
Roll a d20.
Little pouch.
He's gonna eat that fruit.
8.
Okay. You have a pouch for it. It has the pouch itself is a small hole, but if you commit to carrying it in one hand, it won't seep out. You'll just have to make the return to stand with one hand, just constantly cradling the pouch.
Okay.
Because I'm sure you didn't have like pouch in your inventory, but I'm just
Right.
ruling it this way. So
No.
Okay.
you'll find a way to bring it back without any difficulties. Okay.
Well,
You guys, I assume you return to town at this point?
Do we have rooms?
yeah, we did.
You do. You
Okay.
have paid for 3 more nights after tonight at the inn. That's been paid for.
Okay.
This is Doom?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And I'll be getting that Doom Eternal sound.
Alright. Artemis, you are meditating. You are probing for a vision of an airship.
Mm-hmm.
You know how helpful it would be to you. Perhaps not even helpful, perhaps crucial to your mission in going forward. And you probe the depths of your memory and whatever visions may come to you.
Yep.
I will take an intellect and will check.
Okay. I'm gonna use Feat of Will
Okay.
as a trigger, so it converts the intellect challenge roll into a will challenge roll.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna make 2 will challenge rolls.
Cool.
Crit
That's really good.
and 14.
Okay. So you find that within this chapel, as in an extremely meta statement, it operates like a miniature Cerebro.
Nice.
Like this place allows you to tap into other pools of knowledge and memories outside of your own consciousness.
That's pretty good.
Yes. And in your first moment of epiphany, you kind of like just have like this burst of quick knowledge just kind of flood into your mind. And all of the party receives residual strength from this as well. And you all are religion tier 2 now.
Oh, that's really good for Thomas.
Yes.
Because now I'll find every item ever.
I gotta go back to the temple and get a new slip.
Okay.
Thomas, did you write the first one down? Or do you look it up?
You have to go back a ways in
Yeah.
Signal Chat to access
It
that.
was here, Thomas. I'll send it to you.
Okay.
I'll send a picture of it to you. I'll send it to you in Signal and a picture.
That might help for the portals.
Find the finding thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would. There you go. It's been some.
Ah. Okay.
I'll have to look at my own.
Here's what you know about airships and the like, Artemis.
Yep.
You are confident with essentially 1 week of study. You would be able to accumulate knowledge needed to build one, no questions asked.
Okay.
You also know the location of 2 damaged, dilapidated, otherwise lost airships within the continent.
Alright.
The first is in the mountain range near Drozdad.
Of course.
So it is some distance from there.
Yeah.
The other
Yeah.
is submerged in the lake near Midas. So there's your 2 locations, and like I said, You can now basically, when you come here, it's not so much. Basically, by the way, those 2 rolls, one was shielding from insanity,
Oh, nice.
and the other was actually gaining the knowledge.
Nice.
And you crit the first one, which was gaining the knowledge. So
Excellent.
you really did perfect. So you don't take any insanity, nothing like that. So yeah, you've got your information. You'll need about a week to just keep collecting information in here, and then you'll have perfect knowledge to build it. That's not a week constantly in here, but that's about 7 days of regular attendance coming here for a time. Or you could head off, strike for one of those locations, and you feel that with the full specimen to work on and recover from, you would not need to kind of formulate more knowledge. You'd be able to do
The one
repairs.
in the mountains. Did
Yes.
I get an image of like its condition?
Yeah,
or,
you
like,
got-
is it,
you
like,
got
embedded
glimpse-
in the rock or
No,
something?
you got glimpses of both.
Okay.
I mean, it will need repairs to be airworthy, but it's basically just resting under a few inches of snow.
Oh.
It's a lot easier to get
All right.
to.
That's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Because I mean, the power source for an airship.
Yeah.
Was a star.
Yeah.
Star Ruby.
Yeah.
Star Ruby. Yeah.
I don't know.
Crown.
What?
Was the crown a Star Ruby?
Probably not. But if I were to just build one from scratch, I'd have to get a hold of that or something similar.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I'm thinking Drozdad.
Okay.
Because the logistics of hauling something out of a lake and it's probably way worse condition and
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know.
There could be sea monsters
Yeah.
living in there. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's calculate travel time on horseback to Drozdad.
Okay. So shall we say you guys reconvene at like 9 that night?
Sure.
You guys come back with your prickly treasure. Artemis has had his epiphany and he's benefited from the chapel on the Wolf Grounds, and information has been shared. Ardith Bay, she does offer one other comment about your fruit. When she paid a visit to House Halvar, she was able to essentially stabilize the ruler of the house, Cecilia, with what medical expertise she has, but it was only enough basically to bring her back to a moment of clarity to delegate some authority within the house so that her brother could attend the delegation. She feels that with that fruit in hand, she could actually potentially fully cure her and restore her to health. She doesn't say, she accepts the fact that, you found that's certainly yours by right, but she thinks it's possible that would be one application to use it for if you choose.
Now, did Halvar agree to help us already?
They are grateful that she did what she could for Cecilia, but Ardith Bay describes it as something a little bit short of a promise, because ultimately she wasn't able to restore the lady to health. It's just she did what she could, and they were appreciative of that. She's not a doctor. She's a ranger.
Well, do we want one more army? Or do we want to save this fruit for
Don't
one
we
of those
already
guys?
have the army, technically?
How so?
No.
Her brother was
Yeah.
going to the delegation.
Yeah, Ardith Bay ultimately acknowledges it would perhaps be more of an act of charity than necessity, using it that way.
It's your fruit, so it's up to you if you want to be
Yeah.
especially charitable or not. Pragmatically, we don't need to use it that way.
Yeah, and in some ways we are. We may have need of it ourselves someday.
Or you could sell it to some
That too. Which
rich
money?
noble.
Coin! That
That's
could be
true.
a death's door,
Someone might
and
pay.
this will bring you back.
Someone might pay a lot for this.
Yeah.
Actually, what if Halvar?
That's the house.
They're
Yeah.
a wealthy
Yeah.
house. Maybe they
Yeah,
would pay for
pony
it.
up.
That could be an offer.
Only
If
up.
she wants to live. Her brother seems
Wanna
not.
live?
You want to live?
Tasty
Empty
fruit
the
smoothie.
vault.
Things
Yeah.
could get a lot better or a lot worse.
Yep, that's your
We
guys'
like,
prerogative.
we like walk that line of like
No, I
kindness.
don't want to make it a threat, but I think it is worth seeing if they pay for it because we also
So,
do need money.
This reminds me, like in KOTOR, there's situations where you can get light side points,
Yeah.
dark side points, or no change.
No change.
But yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Well, we're looking at the big picture.
Right.
We
And the
care
no
about the
change
planet.
is where we're
Yeah.
walking here. Yeah, no, I know. But, well, and our big picture now is
Money.
money. We'll have to get, especially now that you've revealed
I
about
would
the
say-
airship and
Yeah.
We have this thing that can help her greatly, but we also are in need of funding for our mission, so like we can't afford to give it away.
Right.
But
That's reasonable.
if she would be willing to pay for it, we could use it. To help
Well, you're not there right this moment.
no,
her. Right.
So yeah, you can get to that when you do so. But
I
in
think
Heart of the Base, she'll never object to it because, like she said, it's your you found the fruit, so it is yours to do what you will.
What's the city near Drozdad?
The Drozdad is a dwarven settlement within the mountains.
Oh, it's
That is
it's
the
real.
name. Yes,
It's
and
real now.
I feel like that's where Studs' dwarf camp, Fargrim camp.
And that's where we started.
That's where
that
it started.
campaign.
Well,
It
that's
was
where
like-
the whole, where you were
It
in
was
prison.
kind of like
were in
it was
prison.
kind of like deserted Erebor when you guys started,
Oh.
and then yeah.
That's right. That's
But they've resettled the area now.
But there's a city nearby.
There is
It starts with a G. and
Gellenmore.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. So how long do you get
been
to
a long
Gellenmore?
time.
Okay, we'll say at the inn, you get basically two recommendations over the course of an hour how to get to Gellenmore from here. It all starts by going north to Glythian, which is an elven settlement at the edge of some woods. So that would be
Yeah.
from Glythian. You can pay. They recommend to have elven guides basically take you along the edge of the lake through these woods. Then it kind of opens up, and then you cross into Gellenmore that way. Or you could cut through the forest. Again, they recommend using elven guides because this woods is known for a number of things. And there are pontoon services that can take you across the lake to Gellenmore.
Okay.
But basically, they say no matter what, you'll want to go to Glythian because going around, like, going through this way, you have to go through this huge marshland area, which is known to be infested with all sorts of hags and just bad stuff. So,
Okay.
yeah.
So how long?
With good traveling conditions, you could get to Glythian in about 5 to 6 days.
Okay.
And then it's about another day to reach the water, and then 4 across the lake if you take the pontoon. So that would be another 5 days. Or about a week if you decide to go by land around.
Alright.
So 10 to...
14? No, more than.
It would be 10 to... 10 to 14 days range based on
Okay.
which route you go.
And then Gellenmore to Drozdad.
That should be... the dwarves have done a good job maintaining some of the mountain passes. It's been easier to make it up into the mountains from now. So that takes about 3 to 4 days from Gellenmore.
Alright. I mean, we're going to be claiming something from the dwarves' backyard, basically.
Yeah.
You think they're going to have a problem with that?
I guess 1, do they even know it's there?
Not likely.
2, do they want to be destroyed by Zuknul too? So we may have to have a discussion with them as well.
They're pretty far.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's true. That is
The
true.
further you get
They
away
want you to
from
know.
somewhere, the harder it is for them to care about it.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a few problems. One is we have to actually
specific.
take the broken airship off the mountain.
How can we even do that?
That's our,
Yeah, maybe we enlist the dwarves.
You could set up a work site at the.
we could, yeah.
We could
So-
bring one of the armies that are sworn to help us.
As their
Labor
labor.
is really a misuse of forces,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I think
Is
we
it-
need that
Doesn't
more.
it directly lead to the destruction of Zukanul?
Directly?
Yeah.
Maybe indirect.
Indirectly.
Actually, what are we using it for specifically?
To go over
drop
Zuko,
bombs
we'll
on
find
Zukanul?
portals, and yeah, we're gonna
Drop in your XCOM to
Yeah,
go
exactly.
in.
Exactly.
So it's just a CM. We expected to see what's that glowing portal down there?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
What if it's covered by a tree?
I mean, no matter what, we're gonna need money. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
we wanna rob all the
Let's
elves?
do this Halvar mission and see if they'll pay for the fruit.
Okay,
See how
Okay.
much.
that's a start.
Alright. You want to go there right this moment, or are you going to wait?
If it's like late night,
I think it's like
It is. It's
we
getting
can
late.
it's like 9 or 10
we can
o'clock.
However-
in the morning.
It is a time-sensitive matter.
Yes, it is.
How long since Ardith Bay stabilized?
That was probably about 3 days ago or so.
Something like
Yeah.
Well, after.
Time has definitely slowed down since you guys entered Stand as opposed to when you were traveling.
Yeah.
We've definitely zoomed in on that. Yeah.
I guess I'll ask how critical she thinks it is. Like,
She would be surprised, she said, if Lady Cecilia has passed away. But she also says that she doesn't think they'd begrudge you for showing up at their doorstep at this hour if you have
With-
something that could
with
be
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, then there you go. Let's get it done.
All right.
She
Well,
says she'll go with you so that they'll recognize her right away and make
Yeah.
it easy for you to gain access. So.
works.
All right. So we'll zoom into Thomas again. You come up to the gates of Castle Halvard. Indeed, Ardith Bay is recognized from her previous trip, and her brother Leo asks. Her brother Olaf asks, Ardith Bay, what business do you have here? I'm afraid my sister again grows pale. And she introduces you and says, we believe we may have found a certain fruit that, when prepared properly, could bring your dear sister back from the brink and indeed give her a fullness of health that has not been seen since she first became ill. This worthy companion of mine, Merrick, he discovered it in the wilds. Is this true?
it is.
He takes. Do you have it out in your hands right now, or have you yet to present it?
I'll procure it. Behold.
It is an odd, prickly specimen. I don't think I've seen its kind before.
Very rare.
I'm sure it is of value. It would be greatly appreciated if we could attempt to use this to bring her back. Our household would rejoice, for we have been without hope for some time now.
Yes, I would like to be able to help you. However, my companions and I are also on a mission, which you may have become aware of, and we unfortunately cannot afford to give away this treasure for free. But if you'd be willing to pay for it, it is for sale.
Okay. This, by default, was a will check with 2 Banes. However, this is just for even him considering the purchase. However, the Banes are negated by Ardith Bay kind of being your second, and the fact that they are desperate. So you can make a will check with no penalties, just a straight up one, and then whatever you can add to it if you have anything.
I will say a prayer so that he can have a boon to trigger
And I'll make it a 6.
Okay.
You'll make it a what?
A 6.
my
Oh.
my boon.
No whammy, no whammy. 20.
There you go.
You crit?
Empty the vault.
Alright.
We must have it.
I'm prepared to offer you a great price for this fruit. But there is a certain procedure I would ask that you would honor.
Name it.
For surrendering the fruit, I will offer you a portion of gold. And then, within a day, if it has indeed restored the health of my sister, you will receive the remainder of the payment by word of my honor as a member of House Halvar. For if the fruit does nothing to remedy her condition, I, again, would thank you for your effort and will have paid you for surrendering it, but it would be irresponsible of me to give too great of a price if it does not work.
Alright, that's fair.
Alright. So he will give you 200 gold pieces for offering the fruit. And if the fruit does restore his sister to health, he will give you an additional 300 gold pieces.
Very well. And do you have someone with the knowledge to prepare this?
He would prefer that Ardith Bay attempt to administer it, because she has had more success than any of their house physicians.
It's not a whole lot considering the other house wants 1,000 gold just for their
support.
support.
It's a lot of money in Shadow of the Demon Lord, though.
I guess, yeah.
It's more than I ever had. I had 161 at one point. If we pull it together, we could afford.
How much gold does Artemis have right now?
120.
Yeah.
I have 147. I mean, it
It
gets
doesn't
us.
solve our problems, but it helps.
Well, and, if the fruit also restores this lady to health, she'll be one of your most enthusiastic allies going forward. So there's intangible benefits, too.
It's like a double purpose.
Yep.
So we wanted to help anyway.
I mean, this is what he's offering you.
Oh yeah, I accept it.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. Ardith Bay has Hubert go in with her. He is earning multiple degrees by eating more gold, so he will be a consulting physician. He's going to grant her a bane. Or
Nice!
No, evil Hubert!
He works for Zooknul now.
Oh no! He saw visions in the scroll of what of Hubert ruling
He's
the Dark Tower in the
Rapid
near future.
Palpatine
Okay, yeah.
as we speak.
Exactly.
All right.
Ardith Bay's gonna be Samuel L. Jackson eventually.
Well, to administer the fruit successfully was a check. It was a skill check with one bane by default, but with Ardith Bay's nature skill and with Hubert there, that gave her a net boon, and she succeeded. So immediately Ardith Bay gives good indications, and she says she thinks by like noon tomorrow, Lady Cecilia should be feeling much better if I'm reading the signs correctly. So
excellent.
you've got your 200 in hand right now, and you'll have your additional 300 hopefully tomorrow. So
Good.
okay.
I better go to the inn and put this powder
Were you putting the powder?
down.
Okay.
You
You can buy
in my
you
room,
can buy
in
an
my room or
improved
something.
you can buy an improved pouch for 1 silver piece.
Done.
Okay. You have a much nicer pouch now. You can start.
All right, so now I can just hold it.
Yes. Now there's no risk.
Now
like,
it's in my inventory.
short of you submerging into water or like falling like a great distance, it won't come unshoveled. So yeah.
Fruit powder.
You actually don't know if it's a byproduct or from the fruit itself. This was just the bed of material it was resting on.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, is everyone satisfied going to bed for that night then?
Negative.
Okay, what is Artemis up to?
I'm gonna go meditate till like 2 a.m.
Okay, until you feel exhausted and ready to just... Okay.
Yeah.
Then by sleeping you can just prostrate yourself on the ground.
Yeah.
Alright, excellent. It is a new day. What's your tier 2, Artemis? For your
spells that damage me deal 25% to caster.
Oh yeah. Which, may not come up too often, but when it does, that's quite a quite a perk. So
Yeah.
All right. I need to make a few notations here for things that are happening in town overnight. You always got to have stuff going on behind the scenes.
Raided in the middle of the night. Bunch of assassins.
No, nothing of that nature.
People from
Not yet. Actually, I am the Senate.
that Kermit one. Will
Did
never...
you see that, Mert? You watched it.
Yeah. I
Good
did.
for you. You threatening me, Master Jedi?
What does an average laborer earn a day? Like a silver?
No way.
Less?
I know it was less than that, but
Less
maybe
than a pouch per day?
That's a
That's
fine
insane.
pouch that you have, Thomas.
That's a lot of good pouch.
Yeah.
Well, we either build the work site at the ship, which involves hauling like wood and stuff up the mountain, and then we just fly it out of there, or we build like a giant cart, get the airship on there, and then have all the laborers pull it down the mountain over to Gellinmore or something.
Did House Wolf say they can give you 120 soldiers?
I think that was the number.
Yep. All
That
right.
sounds right.
What's the downside of having them work out there? Because that seems like
We
easier,
draw
right?
more attention from the dwarves.
True. So we're wary of the dwarves being against us taking it.
Yeah, they're gonna claim
Is
it's
it called
it's
as
theirs by right or something.
like a Snow White situation. They help us carry it or something.
Okay.
Can we carry it down without them noticing?
Oh, well, either way.
The next morning at breakfast, you guys receive a courier. It is from House Halvar. It is a letter written in Lady Cecilia's own hand, thanking you very much for your services and restoring a vitality that she would never have dreamed could return to her. She sees the world with new eyes, and each breath she takes is a blessing from both the gods and from your noble efforts. So, Thomas, you receive your 300 additional gold.
Nice.
Unless you've already noted that. Don't double it, Thomas.
Don't double dip.
All right.
It's doubled.
Okay.
Just kidding.
Thomas has 3,000 gold
Yes.
now. Just kept on doubling.
And House Halvar has authorized that they will send 180 soldiers with you for when you are ready to march. So you're at a solid 300 right now.
That's pretty good. So they gave us 500 gold and soldiers. This
Yeah.
other one wants they want to take 1,000 gold for
Yeah.
soldiers. You know what? Maybe Zooknul can have them.
Yeah. There are certain houses that deserve to be saved and others that...
Yeah.
They'll come around when Zooknul's at their doorstep.
I never posed really to Ithan about soldiers.
How many?
Yeah.
I can retroactively tell you how many
Okay.
he can. He has promised that House Ethan will commit no less than 215 soldiers
Oh,
for your effort.
wow. Alright.
Okay.
So you are building a little army here.
So that puts it at 515.
Yep.
And it has half. No, there's 8 houses, right?
Well, let me remind you of your current situations with the others, 'cause it's gonna be a little confusing juggling all.
Yeah.
So you're not quite sure where things stands with House Constag, because
Right.
you gave him that information, but then he didn't like the way Artemis was talking to him and told him to leave.
Yeah.
House Olven is a big question mark because he was openly a servant of Zooknul.
Right.
You assassinated him, and you haven't really checked back on how things are doing there.
No.
House Vincent, there's
Never.
clearly something wrong going on there. and the one guy who was giving you a picture at the situation didn't show up for his meeting last night. And then you have House Morose, who
we know what they want.
Right, Ardith Bay kind of made introductions, but you haven't really followed up on.
Do we know how many soldiers she would give if we were?
No,
able
you don't
to?
have that information right now.
Okay, cool.
These lords are usually more forthcoming about that after
Once
they've
things
become
are
friends with
positive.
you and are ready to. Yeah.
Okay.
So do you want to like just walk by Olvin?
I
Just see
think
what's
we
going on.
should.
If the castle's in flames.
got about
I have meditation to do.
Yeah.
And I can't be seen around there, so I guess
Has
it's
to
up
be
to
me.
you. Yep.
Yep, has to be you.
You can go as a holy man. They will not harm you.
Okay.
No, I don't know. I'm just spitballing.
What am I?
Hubert asked for his research directive before the new day begins.
I don't know.
He's given you he doesn't think he'll be able to scrounge up too much more about the portals themselves. Yeah.
Maybe just
Airships aren't needed to be researched, right?
they do or don't.
Well, I'm learning how to build one.
Yeah.
What more do we need?
Run it.
I would think that's part of.
I mean, the skill at the controls is different
Yeah,
from
that's
being
a
able to.
different-
Yeah.
But Hubert can't learn that from a book.
No, you gotta put your
You gotta
hands
get
on
your
the
hands
wheel.
on it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what else we really need to know.
Just weaknesses of orcs. I mean, not. I don't know.
Or like
Stupid, but-
legendary artifacts nearby,
Yeah.
maybe. That could.
Oh, you
my-
want to look into that crown situation? No, something more fun than that.
Something more useful than that.
I had a weird thing
He,
in the middle of the day. I was gonna bring to Sean, have Hubert look up white dragons that like disappeared in history.
Oh, like what you think might be occupying the globe?
Exactly.
What would that
What
do
would
for
that
us?
tell you?
You know, as you go back into the cube,
We know his
I
name.
know your name.
I feel like
I know
Golf
your
would be
story.
interested in that too. Who's
I don't
gone
give a
along.
fuck about gold.
Gold would be really
Would
interesting.
you rather learn that or learn about some legendary artifact?
Well, yeah, I know. That's right.
Alright.
It already is an artifact we have.
Exactly.
Better the artifacts we can find.
Or, now I was gonna say, if you find out where this ancient dragon was hiding, we could go to his stash.
Right.
Because
Those were my
no longer
thoughts.
Guarding it.
He's a dragon.
You don't know that this dragon wasn't like created just for the snow
Yeah,
world.
yeah, we don't
That's
know
the
that.
question. If you would research and find that one disappeared one day, then you'd know.
But actually, think about it this way: if someone knew that disappeared to the point that they wrote it down, that
Yeah.
would mean they took the treasure.
Right.
Likely. Sure.
Yeah, that's, I guess, artifacts or.
I mean, if he finds the location of the crown, fine. But
Okay.
Just nearby lore,
yeah,
interesting leads.
rumors,
Yeah.
things like that.
Legends.
Yeah.
Sean.
So that's your just local legends about artifacts,
Relics and artifacts.
All right, so we're not going to zero in on the dragon for now. Okay.
Maybe someday.
He thanks you for giving him a less.
Insanity.
Yeah,
list.
yeah. He gets a little bit lighter of a thing to delve into, so he thanks you for that.
And I'd like to. Is there a Witcher style like notice board, where there might be a contract?
Talking
for
about.
Fungal
You're
Hulk?
talking about one of them.
Roll a
bulletin
D20.
boards.
Those fungal hulks never bothered anyone.
Yeah.
Is that true?
The spores of that Hulk were critical to the local ecosystem. And
When they
you
find
created
out.
a new plague land. No, I'm just. 2?
9.
9. All right.
That's what you get. 9.
So there's no notice out for like a bounty on Fungal Hulk,
Okay.
but you feel if you go back and kind of harvest, bring back some of the pieces, it occurs to you that there might be some like potion shops or alchemists or apothecary who might have value for some of the segments. So it's
Some local assassins might
Yeah,
be able to use
yeah.
its.
right,
Yeah.
or remedies. You
Yeah,
know, maybe if you,
both ways.
All right.
you'll have to go back to it though. Okay.
I'm prepared to.
All right. So Mert,
Yeah.
Have you resolved how exactly you want to go back to the castle? Are you gonna just go solo and just see what there is to see? Or are you gonna pretend to be like on the business of the
I
city?
guess I
or
need to
something?
understand what am I actually going to try to find out?
I think just
Like
see
if they're even still there.
Right. If they're
just the state of the.
or if they're just like lounging around, living it up.
Yeah, just going through the Lord's like
Yeah.
his own like supplies and stuff. Yeah, right. It's all possible.
When we were there, how massive a guard?
How massive a guard.
Like
Who is the
you
biggest?
know, no. Like we're talking like 10 guards. Were we talking when we were there?
Right.
Could we tell like?
So you guys, from the moment you began your visit to the castle until you exited out the tunnel, you probably saw yourselves 30 guards.
30 guards.
And that's consistent with what Thomas saw, or what Merrick saw when he did his Assassin of Kings thing. So that's just from what you witnessed, so there's probably more than that.
Sure.
But again, it's, as the steward kind of suggested to you, it was difficult for him to perceive how many were like true believers in the cause yet, or ones that were just following what their lord was
I
commanding.
just don't know. Like
Yeah.
going alone just sounds. Not that I'm afraid. To
Sounds
knock
like
on
you're
the,
afraid.
to knock on the door.
You're not going in. You're just like, can I talk to the Lord? Like, maybe you just have like a request for like a fungal Hulk or something. Like something's bothering you.
I didn't know Cordan supported little bitches.
30 guards.
Cordan
All right.
laughs at 30 guards.
I'll knock on the door, on the however the entrance is, the outer gate or whatever it is, and see if I get any response. Even that's step one.
Okay. How do you go before the outer gate? Are you in full battle raiment? Are you in just your...
Maybe.
Because that's something, I think that's something a lot of characters, especially ones that have like melee prowess, they don't often think about, you know.
Yeah.
How often do they want to display that when going
Sure.
from place to place?
I mean, I don't have a weapon in my hand,
Okay.
but I definitely have my armor on.
Okay.
And,
Yeah, your fine dwarven armor and...
Yeah.
Okay.
so I try to knock on the door.
Okay. There's the first time you knock, there is no reply.
Well, and that's after waiting like a minute or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. I'll try a second knock.
Okay. A door opens at the side of the gatehouse.
Oh.
And a guard
Sure.
kind of wipes his brow a bit, comes up to you and says, greetings.
You doing all right?
The household's been in a bit of chaos, unfortunately.
Everything okay?
He says, what's your business here?
I just wanted to see the Lord. We've been dealing with some stuff in the city.
That's quite impossible, I'm afraid.
What's wrong?
He is unwell.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yes.
Is there anything we can do?
Who are you?
Oh, we've been trying to...
Who's we?
The city? The other houses? They would be... I imagine they'd be concerned that one of the great houses is...
So are you?
I mentioned something about like...
Are you claiming to like be here on behalf of the city?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
And I mentioned something about... Is it Cecilia?
Who's that?
The one that was sick. That we gave
That
to
was her. Yeah.
Yeah, I mentioned that we even helped her. She wasn't feeling well either.
All right. Give me a will with a bane.
With a bane. Alright. So 12 plus my will, 13, 8. I rolled really well on the bane. I rolled a 5 on the bane.
Now you're dead.
That hurts.
He says,
Oh wait, will challenge are made with one boon. So take away that roll.
All right.
That
No, so it's a
negates it out.
success. It's a
That's
success.
my cord end for T1.
Okay.
So it's a 13.
There you. Oh, well.
There we go.
Perfect. Okay.
All of a sudden, I realized I
Yeah.
had something.
Pay attention to your
Sheet,
religion
your
sheet.
stuff, yeah.
Okay. He says, perhaps, do come in.
Okay.
Okay. Now he died.
Could be.
He sees.
This
says,
is into like the side guard
Yes, he
house.
says, I see you are. Oh, yeah. You're like in the gatehouse.
Yeah,
of the
this
castle.
isn't into like the castle.
He says, you look like you can handle yourself in a fight.
I sure can. Yeah.
Situation is dire within the castle.
Okay.
We are on the brink of battle. A madness possessed our Lord, we fear, and many of those who serve him. We are trying to wrest control of the Great Hall back from them.
Oh.
But with you here, I think we will be able to turn the tide.
How many do you have?
There are perhaps just under 30 of us,
Oh.
and
Okay.
as many on their side.
Okay. So, I can definitely be the tipping point.
But we will not serve this Dark Lord, even if our Lord did so. He was not of the right mind to do so. We do not want him to be remembered for that.
That's good.
But the
to hear.
first step is to wrest control of the castle back before this madness spills out further.
Okay.
We've been able to keep them confined within the castle, but they've been attempting to make their escape. We think back to whatever this place is, this Zuknul. But they will be making their attempt soon.
Well, you must vanquish those thoughts from their mind.
Well, we will vanquish them if necessary.
even with their lives, yes.
Are you willing to lend your aid?
I am.
Okay. With you there,
Okay.
we can fast forward.
Sure.
I'm not going to set up this whole thing
Right.
because
He
it would
explains to the
be
rest
the
of the
adventure of Mert for just
Right.
way too long.
He
for
explains
the
to the rest of the other
Yeah.
29 or 30
Yeah.
of them that I'm here to help.
Nope. But no, if nobody showed up this morning, it would have been
30
gone
and
more,
30.
It would have gone more. It would have went poorly for the
The good.
good guy. Yes, it would. Okay. Mert, I'm just gonna assign you some damage.
Sure.
You're not gonna go incapacitated or anything like
73.
this. Yeah. No, I mean there are prices for you for joining them.
Yes,
but
of course, of course.
it's gonna yield
Are
rewards.
you getting jumped in?
I'm jumping into.
Yeah, but we're doing.
Hey.
I'm doing an accelerated form
Yeah.
here.
Yeah.
All right, Mert, I'm gonna ask you 3 sets of questions.
Okay. I'll try
Question 1. When you have 2 sets of men charging at each other in a battle, and some of the ones on the opposing side are implementing dark magic,
Okay.
in this situation, where does Mert prioritize himself? Are you trying to, support, cure your soldiers? Are you singling out targets to kill first? Or are you just kind of doing whatever seems
understand.
best at the time? Yeah.
I understand. Let me look at my stuff. I definitely have enough healing to go around.
Mhm.
I have probably about 7 spells, 7 spells of healing to
Yeah.
give, and a couple more.
Okay.
But I have a spell that I can do 3 times that I can literally attack 2 guys at once.
So you've got offense and healing.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's 30 on 30.
Yeah,
Dark
roughly
magic.
using that. Yeah.
I feel like I want to try to keep the 30 I have alive more than
Okay.
anything else.
All right.
So I will be focusing
How
on...
many times can you use your healing magic?
I mean, I have a 0 spell that I can do 3 times.
Yeah.
I have a level 1 spell I can do 2 times. And then I have another spell that I can do once. And then I have my own benefit from being a priest, and that each give me 1 extra 1 in those that heal myself and another.
Okay.
So 9, I think.
Are you able to? So you're able to expend 4 instances of healing.
Yeah, at least.
Yep.
Yes.
So let's say expend 2 of your level 0s and
Okay.
2 of your 1s. Are you able to do that?
I
okay. So did the healing route, the first one. Okay. Second option. It looks like a fire is starting within the castle itself.
Oh, okay. Like an
Um,
actual.
Yes,
earth, not
a big,
magical.
A big like brazier of oil got knocked over somewhere.
Okay.
And, three options here.
Yep.
Trap the like evil supporters, like to be like in a situation
Burned.
where they're put out the fire in the castle, or lead an escape out of the castle for your boys. Those are your three options for the second set of questions.
So if I trap them, they probably die, but the fire increases.
Oh yeah, right.
If I try to burn out the fire, that they will attack.
Yeah, it puts you and your men at the most risk. That option.
Yeah. So it's either risk the fire, but definitely get some victory, or run.
All
and save
options
it.
should have benefits and
consequence.
drawbacks. Yep.
I've been working on keeping these guys alive the first round. Now I think we take the first option, and we try to trap them.
Okay.
So now we go more on
Going on the offense. Okay.
Yeah.
Question 3. You're walking in the desert and you find a turtle on its back. Do you
This is
flip
the
it
only
over?
one that matters. Yep. All right.
Don't do that.
Okay. Towards the end of the battle,
Okay.
what you would identify or self-identified leader of the opposition kind of steps into the forefront.
Okay.
He basically he makes a threat.
Okay.
He says you let him go and he will spare hostages that he has within the castle. And he will be once he's on his horse and at the gate of the city, he will have them released.
Okay. That's his offer.
That's one thing he says.
Okay.
He also says that he will make an intercession for the city should you let him go.
2.
Yep. So another promise, and he also has he seems to have command of some particularly harmful brand of forbidden magic. So it looks like he could offer you more trouble if you fight him or if you let him go.
Okay.
So this might have been like the secondary agent, or maybe even higher authority than the Lord himself, but he's now forced to reveal himself because of this fight.
All right.
So basically, I'm asking you if you let him go,
or not. Obviously.
You have actually 3 options again. Let him go, try to subdue him, or just try to kill him.
Okay. I have a question.
Yes.
About these guys, the state they're in. Are they clearly insane? And how does insanity work in this game? Adam can also come into this because
so there's demonic and otherworldly forces that defy what our logic and mind can tolerate.
Right. So I mean, are these guys
Sometimes
really?
Sometimes it's a result of a direct taint because you're opening yourself to demonic things and pacts and rituals, that sort of thing. And so, whatever whispers of Zooknul have definitely reached a lot of these men who are here. You can see, they fight with a certain crazedness.
Okay.
And some of them, I said, wield forbidden magic. So definitely, something they've learned from the Dark Lord.
The reason I ask this is I have a power that says if they're frightened by this, do you get frightened naturally when you go and get a certain amount of insanity?
No, frightened is from seeing something frightening, like a demon.
Yeah, frightened and insanity can often kind of couple together. If you gain insanity from something, you can become frightened.
That's my question. That's what it makes. The power seems like. Okay.
Does the power cause frightenness, or is it just dependent on frightened?
It causes insanity. I roll a d6 of insanity.
Oh.
And then if they're frightened by this insanity...
Well, let's just say this. You're confident that some of them will certainly be frightened, so it'll hit some of them. You can't be sure that all of them will react in the same way.
Okay.
So I'm assuming you're using this power...
Against him.
Okay.
So it's medium range. I assume he's in that.
Oh, you're going to be confronting
It's int versus will.
What is the result of the? Let's just say it goes successful. What would happen?
I roll a d6 of insanity.
Oh, okay. So you further addle his brain.
Right.
Okay.
So if you go mad, and you hit your insanity peak.
Yep.
You roll on this madness table.
Yeah. One of those results is he can die.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So you're not gonna let him go.
No.
You're gonna
Well,
end him.
no. To have him go back and
Yeah,
report-
no,
that's
that's
exactly
fine
why
for
we
the
took
best.
the Lord out.
Okay.
Most of them are pretty debilitating.
Yeah. Okay.
That was my question. Because
Okay.
we don't deal with
Yeah. Nope,
insanity too much.
I've gotten your 3 responses here.
Yeah, my power literally, I do that, I roll insanity.
Yeah.
If he becomes frightened, he makes int and will attack challenges with 3 banes, and he can't cast spells.
All right, Mert. From your participation in all this, at the end of the day, can you expend one of your greater heals?
Yes.
Okay, do so.
Okay.
All right. And you've used that other ability too.
Yeah,
You've
the one
taken-
the random
Alright.
one.
When you finish your encounter here, you've taken 5 damage,
Okay.
and you have 3 new insanity from
Okay.
what you witnessed in there. However, you've saved the household from being overrun by those supporting the Dark Lord. So there is a shell of House Olvin that has been saved.
Okay.
I would like you to roll. Just right, you get to roll those fun ones. You get to roll 3d12 plus 30.
Boy. Yeah, this is a 12. This is a good thing. Do you need
You don't
each
know.
number or total?
I'll need the total of the 3.
Okay. I rolled a 4 and a 5 and then a 12.
19
so,
plus 30, 49.
4, 5, 12.
No, 4, 5, and a 12. You said 3d12, right?
21.
Oh yeah, so 21.
21.
Okay, so 51 with the plus 30.
Oh, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So basically, they are leaderless right now.
Okay.
But for you coming in here and helping kind of route the remaining members who are like fallen into this madness, they are willing to basically disband and serve as a free company under you and your party, the remaining soldiers.
Okay.
So you gain 51 soldiers to your
Oh,
cause.
there we go.
The castle is for the most part burnt.
Demolished.
It's not demolished,
Oh.
but it's going to take a lot of work for it to be,
Sure,
sure.
sure.
properly habitable. But it did not completely burn.
And
to
there
the
was
ground.
no heir or anything to Peter, so
no,
he was
no.
it's
His
okay.
children are not in Stanton.
Okay.
And information of his children is actually not all that common right
Sure,
now. So.
sure.
All right.
Okay.
You killed all the guys. The leader would not be taken alive. It was you would lose too many men. Yourself would have gone possibly unconscious or something. So
Yeah.
you had to kill him. But
Yeah.
so yeah,
The risk.
successful confrontation.
All right.
The domestic servants and that sort of thing. They're just going to kind of go look for work
Just like
at
the
the other
steward.
household.
Just like the steward.
Yeah, but like I said, you've gained control of the remaining soldiers who basically find you personally
Alright,
a leader they're willing to follow. So
Alright.
as long as you're with the party,
They will.
those troops will be under your detachment.
Okay. Alright.
All right, that's taken care of.
That's my.
That took like all the morning.
Yeah,
pretty much,
so my-
plus, yeah.
Yeah.
But like I said, since you were the only one who went to the castle, I
Yeah.
did not want to do it all mathed out because that would
That'd be
a lot.
pretty.
Yeah.
That would have been.
Yeah.
Would have been quite a massive.
Like, there's certain big battles that are appropriate, like when you guys defended the city against like the Lich and stuff, and that was like the whole session. But when the whole party's not involved, I don't always want to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Merrick, you've gathered. Let's see, what's your strength attribute?
14.
Okay, you can pretty much gather. You say you're carrying like 2/3 of the fungal Hulk back to town. You just simply are not strong enough, even if you're like dragging it to bring like his whole carcass back. But you were able to carve up a good section of what looked like to you the most usable section. So
Okay.
You make it back into town by noon with that. You're sweating and thirsty, but you've brought it back.
And that'll be my exit.
Yep. You have a good night, sir.
You too.
Yep. You want to look at the town map?
Yeah, when I was looking at
You
the
might
notice
see
board-
some potential businesses that you might want to bring to.
Elgin's Exotics.
Well, I'll let you know about Thursday once I figure it out. All right,
Well,
guys.
sounds like try and
Yeah.
talk.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Try and talk.
I have a way of sniffing out try and talk.
It
All right.
sure is.
Yeah.
Sure is.
Okay.
All right, night, guys.
See ya.
See ya. Tom's Trading Post. Elgin's
Yeah.
Exotics. So across town, I want to drag it one way and then the other. But I'll try the Elgin's Exotics.
Okay.
Oh, Curious Concoctions. Is that concoctions?
It is.
Curious.
If it just says concoctions, that's a typo.
That's what it says.
I want to see it. I mean, it's like if that's what it says, I might
The
have
sign's
to.
a little faded.
I think I'm just gonna have to honor it, and that's what the sign says.
Or some
Curious.
kids like rubbed off con and it's just
All right, yeah.
curious concoctions.
All right. So it takes a little while because you're coming in from the southern gate.
Yeah, that's the best one. Curious Concoctions.
Yeah. A few people kind of harangue you or like question you about this thing you're dragging through the streets. And
Mushroom body.
as you're actually going past the jail, some of the guards say they're worried you're causing like a threat to the public safety by dragging this thing around.
It's it's dead. I'm just bringing it to the potion shop to be turned into medicine.
We'd be happy to look the other way, but there are service considerations for the state of the road that you're dragging. You can tell they want a bribe.
0 million.
How many guards?
There's a pair of them.
Say, I want a shiny gold piece for each of you.
They slowly nod and say, in fact, this isn't a problem at all. And if anyone else gives you trouble, just mention Guard Eustace. Okay. You will not be harassed at all on the remainder of your journey. If you tried to take it through Knife Point Alley, it'd probably get stolen from you. Or like little kids would be chopping away pieces and sprinting past, but that isn't happening. You finally make it to Curious Concoctions after another hour of dragging it through the town. And you see a man with a large beard. Like basically, as his hair falls and beard begins, it gets hard to separate. But he's just kind of this big mass of hair all around his head. He comes out of his shop before you even make it to his door. Says, I smelled that fine specimen on your approach. What have you brought for me today? And he stoops down and takes a look at what you brought.
This here is a fungal hulk. Only a very dangerous specimen, but
He takes like a very small piece of the mushroom, like just like digs at it with his fingertips and rips it off. And he looks at it closely and says, "You must have killed this yesterday, I would guess."
yes, very fresh.
Well, very. That's debatable, but yes, this will do. He circles it and says, "Yes, I will take this." He looks where you kind of had to make cuts, and he says, "Well, that was unfortunate, but I suppose for a layman, not a bad amputation. I'll have to bring this into my scale. Help me lift this into the shop."
Okay.
All right. You lift it over the threshold. It's a little bit of a tight squeeze coming through his doorway, and you see he does in fact have 3 different scales, and you bring it to his largest one, and once it's in place, he makes the necessary adjustments to the scale on the other end. You see he's got like sacks of like sand or something, and he says, "All right. What would you like for this?"
I look around. look like a... How would I know?
He's taking advantage of that you might not know what this should go for.
What was the weight again?
You see, he has like 4 of his like sandbags matching up with it. So I mean, it's a pretty big thing you brought in.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine it's like 100 pounds or like.
Yeah, it was like man-sized. So.
A specimen of this size, not very common. It took me and my companion quite an amount of trouble to take this thing down.
He nods silently.
Say, 100 gold.
No, I won't do that. What I can do, you see him start digging through his pockets, and he like goes around the counter, grabs a few things. You see he like pours something into a vial. Splashes in your face. I can blind you and take it. All right. He puts. There's like a pile of various things in front of you, and he offers this as payment for the body.
What is this?
All right. He's very patient with you, so you have time to. Coin is part of it, so you can count through the various coin. The pile of coins, you count 24 gold, 11 silver, and 96 copper. So that would be the monetary compensation. And then for the other fringe benefits, you see he's offered you up 2 potions alongside it.
And what?
One is of a clear fluid. The other is of a very bright green, like an algae green.
And what do these do?
Oh, this one, and he lifts up the clear one. If you're ever about on the brink of freezing to death, I would recommend drinking this. It'll keep you warm for at least a day or 2. Very dangerous under other circumstances, but yes, it'll shake off any chill or cold, no problem. Might even protect against frost-based attacks if you're unfortunate enough to ever run into such sorcery or creatures. As for this one, he holds up the algae one. He says, this one's a bit of a wild card. I should say that this one is favored of sorcerers and those who follow schools of magic. It brings heightened clarity and senses for a time. Makes spellcasting very, very precise. And spellcasting can be a very dangerous proposition many times in our world, as you may or may not know, but this is what I can offer. This is what I can spare for this creature.
Alright. Well, I don't want to drag this thing back through town, so...
No, I don't. I doubt you'd get a better offer anywhere. That's the deal.
Well, I don't know. Elgin's Exotics?
Be my guest, but he's gonna like take away 1 copper piece.
That's alright. You've got it.
All right, you can add that to your inventory.
Okay, how many silvers was that?
God. It's like it could change completely from what I just said. I think it was like
I wouldn't remember.
I think it was like 13 silver.
24 gold.
13 silver and 96 copper. Yeah.
Okay.
But now you've got the small stuff to feed to Hubert, so.
Oh yeah, you can give him coppers.
Mm-hmm.
If he's a bad rabbit.
Okay, so Artemis, is your meditation with the idea that should all else fail, you'll have the knowledge to build an airship.
I also figure that repairing it would
Benefit from you I understand, and
knowledge of creation.
I will certainly consider that when the time comes.
Okay.
So, upon having your morning meal, you return to meditation. And are you willing to give yourself over to that for the day?
Yep.
Okay.
I will create food for myself if
Okay.
necessary.
It's straining to do this, but you can tell that even if you strain yourself, it doesn't slow the rate of knowledge that you're intaking.
I welcome the strain.
Okay. With the exception of stopping for food and to relieve yourself, you're just constantly keeping your mind open to this flood of knowledge. This would probably, even what you're learning now, break like lesser beings. But for you just take one insanity from the day.
Okay.
But yeah, you're accelerating the timetable I gave you of about like a week. you're going faster than that with that. So. Because now you've done like an evening plus a full day of meditation.
Good.
Okay. So we will say it is evening, like 7 p.m. at the Grand Stanton Inn. This is your last night that you have paid for, so after today, if you want to book a room for tomorrow and forward, you'll have to re-secure accommodations.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Hubert has returned from the library with Golk, and Golk offers just a minor protest, saying, "You gotta give me something new to do tomorrow. I can't keep doing library duty."
Does the fate of the world mean nothing to you, Gold?
Means everything to me. I live in the world, but at the same time,
You think
the
rest
world's
of us
not
are,
worth living
you
in.
think the rest of us are living it up, partying all day?
Give me half a day for my own devices.
Hubert, what do you have to say to that?
I believe I am comfortable now to navigate the place on my own. Some of the keepers there know of my face, and we've. I know this is against the protocol, but we have had conversations, and I don't believe they will betray me.
Well, if Gold wants to put you in that position, then I guess that's up to him.
Ardith Bay volunteers to
okay.
accompany him for the next. There you go. All right. That way, Golk can go to the brothel, the gambling den, all the other fine places,
Where
and
he can stay.
you leave him there. He'll blow through his money and then be one more prisoner in crime's court.
Right.
All right. Very good. All right. So Hubert's got the artifact research. Now, before I share with you what he discovered, you see the horns that have replaced. No, I'm just kidding. To be fair to say, you wanted them in any particular, like, were you planning on going somewhere, like, along the way somewhere, or did you just want, like, near Stanton in particular for these?
I mean, we're heading north, but
Yeah.
didn't matter too much.
Okay. It's a good roll. Keep losing my writing utensil because I've got all these books. I think I was using it as bookmark though. Okay. Yes. So Hubert begins to tell you a tale of his research. That this was quite a shift for him, because unlike the very refined and narrow searches you provided him in his previous endeavors, he had a new difficulty in just simply wading through countless claims of various artifacts and treasures and trying to identify the ones that seem to have more substance to their actual existence and identifiable leads. And so, he like kind of lists dozens of different, items that, may or may not exist and could be in certain places. But for your consideration, since he knows that all time is precious right now, he's identified 4 what he calls his finalists for items that he believes you have a good chance of finding should they exist, and that might be of some use to the party.
Alright.
Okay. Okay. The first item is the only one that he believes to be in Stanton right now, within the city limits, is an object known as the Mirror of Dulsad. So he describes it as a hand mirror that looks by and large like an ordinary hand mirror, so not of any particular luxuriousness or gem-studded or anything of that nature. But that when one person looks into the mirror and then in turn, while holding the mirror, shows that to another person, they can gain a form of mind control over that individual. He says, so clearly, if it does exist, this would be extraordinarily powerful. However, it is limited, of course, by the status and influence of who you are presenting the mirror to, if you are the bearer of the mirror. And he also understands that those with extraordinary mental fortitude can overcome the magic of the object. And from his understanding, the current ruler of Crime's Court holds the mirror at present.
Well,
That is the first object.
yeah.
He has 3 more to talk to you about.
Alright.
The Horn of Oleg is said to be in the woods south of Glythian. So that would be upon your path if you went to Drozda. This was a hunting horn of one of the most legendary hunters in the history of Borellion, Oleg. And it is believed that Oleg was he was slain by a quarry that was just too great for even the legendary hunter. But should you have this horn, upon blowing it, if you are of proper strength and stature, that you can subdue any beast that apparently, he reads kind of all these different stories about the different beasts that Oleg was able to subdue, and it kind of helped contribute to the fact that he was just a legendary hunter. And Hubert gives you some side commentaries about, well, is that really hunting or is that really sporting if he just had this magic horn that just made these beasts, bow to his will or whatever. But that apparently the horn did not work on this one legendary beast that felled him. So if it is on this forest somewhere, it is likely near the corpse or on the corpse of Oleg if he is to be found. So one thing for consideration. So that's the second item. The third is the Censer of Anatar. So this would be basically a golden plate connected by chains that would have been used in a temple or ritualistic setting. He believes that there is an impossibly ancient temple in the marshland to the south of the lake by Gellenmoor, so in this region, that can conjure 9 champions to serve the bearer of the censer. These champions are said to be kind of ghostly and of extreme power and deadliness. However, he's heard different theories about the fuel that you need to keep the incense going within the censer, and that may itself be a little bit difficult to obtain, but he says that this censer was strong enough to subdue regions to the will of this Anatar fellow. So, certainly something of great interest, should it exist. And then the 4th item is Dumak's shield. This is a shield of a legendary warrior who apparently could use this basically to deflect almost any attack, magical or physical, but it ultimately failed Dumak in the end in that he was flanked by his foe and could not raise his trusty shield in time to deflect the blow.
Okay.
He has 2 possible locations for this, so that's a little problematic. The first is in a secret underground area somewhere underneath the Great Arena. So he didn't list that as in Stanton because that's one claim for where it could be located. So if it is, great, but if not, it is in this town known as Port Agren, which should be mounted in the wall of the castle right now. That is apparently claimed by the local ruler that he's had it for so long, but he's never allowed any tests to be done to verify that it is the legendary shield. Those are your 4 artifacts.
What makes him think the mirror is in Stanton?
He goes back to the notes that he took in Rabbit Scratch. It's like carrots in various positions and stuff. It's his own invented language. He says he could write in common, but he figures his notes are... there's no need for them to be intercepted or read by those who do not need to know of them.
Of course.
But he can provide a copy translated for you if you wish.
Mm-hmm.
There is a number of ballads that basically have attributed that this has been a heirloom possession for the ruler of Crime's court for the last 4 rulers of the court. So it's a fairly strong claim that it is there. The only doubt is whether one of the many criminals in there have actually run off with the real one long ago, and that the leader of the court is putting on a kind of a ruse with the mirror that it is in fact the genuine one, but it may not be. But Hubert's fairly confident that the real mirror is in fact there, and that it is being used by the crime lord for nefarious purposes, perhaps ensuring the survival of Crime's court for as long as that mirror is
used on that other lord.
An excellent theory.
Well, I'm most inclined to go after the censor in the marsh.
Seems the most powerful.
Yeah, it seems the best. And it's on the way.
Getting some Nazgul
I thought
under your...
the horn was on the way.
That doesn't seem that powerful, though.
No. They're both on the way?
Technically.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the definition of a beast? Is it just an animal? Can a man be a beast?
And
can a demon be a beast?
for a meta sense, I'll give you some beneficial information because I know there's an important thing for you to consider. Basically, in Demon Lord, you've got demons,
Yep.
beasts,
Okay.
humanoids. You've got a few other smaller categories, but those are definitely your 3 big ones right there.
All right.
So there are challenge rating 500 and beasts. There are some big beasts, but
Yeah.
apparently some of one of the ones that Oleg tried to use it on didn't work.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I mean, if we stumbled upon it, it'd be great.
Yeah.
But what
So
are
the idea
odds
is
of
just that it would control
Well,
a
you can
beast.
find anything, right?
That's true.
So that would be pretty simple.
Yeah, if we're in the area,
If we're in
we'll
the
find
area,
it.
yeah, you'd find it.
That's the key. Is if you can get close to the item, once you're close enough to it, because of your power, you'd be able to get to it.
That's really good.
All right, we can pick that up then.
Hopefully, we don't have to fight the beast that doesn't work.
Yeah,
Like ideally, by the time XCOM's ready to drop, everyone's got a couple legendary treasures, and you guys are like level 10, and there you go. Yep, perfect. Yep,
Drop bombs over
Yep.
Zugnul.
Nice.
So, okay, then we wouldn't take the ferry. We'd go through the marsh,
Yeah.
find this temple, get to Gellenmore, pick up some laborers, and then we still didn't decide if we wanted to build and repair at the site or bring
But
it back.
you can decide that.
That'll
when
depend if we get the sensor or not. We can keep those dwarves at bay with the sensor if we need to.
Conquer Drozdan.
We'll take the dwarves for ourselves.
the cheapest form of labor.
Okay.
Yep.
Then
Trying to crush their mountain or
Yep.
something.
I guess we leave Stanton then once we have this delegation happen.
Then do you take those soldiers with you, or do you have them
Or
wait here?
51.
Maybe they could fortify the town. Or you mean just the 51?
I mean,
Yeah, we're
you've
talking
got
about 51.
you've got a company that will follow that basically follow Mert now. They
Yeah.
see him as
I feel like if Mert leaves them, they might just find someone else
Right,
to follow.
that's why I'd be
We
worried.
might as
yeah.
well just take them as long as we have them.
Mhm.
They could be our laborers.
Yeah.
and they can screen out superfluous encounters while you're traveling. You know, only the big
Yeah.
stuff will you guys have to be concerned with then.
Yeah, it
We
works.
have to feed them.
Yeah, I can make food. I don't know if I can make that much.
No.
Ardith Bay can have to hunt a buffalo.
She'll probably lead a hunting party daily.
And they can help hunt too.
Yeah.
They can
There
feed
you go.
themselves.
Food. They're not worthless.
Yeah. They're fighting men. They should be able to fight animals.
I guess with that beast of Oleg, or the horn of Oleg, you could cheese food gathering.
It summons a
constantly-
beast. Is that the idea?
Well, no, like a beast that hears it will obey. But Ardith Bay might have moral objections to that. That it's not like you're breaking like the course of nature.
But why do we need a delegation if they're all on board already?
You could be like, we do not recognize the town.
See which one of them will pay for the death of Olvin.
I mean, I think the cat's out of the bag.
That is
with
true.
that
We
one
have their
now.
men. There's a
Yeah,
big skirmish.
right.
The castle burned down.
Yeah,
I mean,
just all done.
If one of those men comes forward and says, you know, he died several days ago, that kind of helps towards the
Destroys our
contract
credibility.
killing. Yeah, so
So really, I mean, we're not taking any of those soldiers with us.
No.
They're just preparing.
they'll be
war.
ready. They've given you their oath that they'll
Right.
march when
Right.
the time comes. So.
So we get the airship, fly to Blue Cape, sort that out. Fly to Ragnar, sort that out, and then we go to war.
And then while they're marching on the Black Gate, you guys XCOM in.
Yep.
And, oh man,
That's it.
it's perfect.
So then I guess we leave once my meditation's done.
Okay.
How long did that take?
Shouldn't take too long.
So you'll be content when you feel that you have the full understanding to construct and operate an airship.
Yeah.
All right. Were we at the end of the day just now?
Well, we were meeting with Hubert, so it was like 6.
Oh yeah, it was the dinner time.
Yeah.
Okay. So yep, you reached the end of your in cycle here. Artemis, let's just say you have the feeling at this blazing fast rate you're going that you need about 3 more days of meditation here.
Let it be so.
Okay. Will someone pay 2 gold for the next 3 days for the rest of your party for the accommodations? All right. So your in accommodations are in place, and then I will note that when we return, we've got 3 days of quick automation already paid for at the end, and then Artemis will have reached his meditation goal, and then you'll have that time to think about any last affairs you want to attend to in the town before you
Last
strike out.
wish.
All right, 3 days automation. Artemis meditation. Stanton business. Got it. All right. Good stuff.
And now we're level 4.
I think when Artemis gains the knowledge to build an airship, that will likely be... So, you know what? I think, for all intents and purposes, let's come back at level 4.
There you have
Yeah.
it.
Because then it won't be like 40, like half an hour hit level 4. You can just be level 4 at the start. That's better. Do you need to see the book, Thomas?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So there is that spell, like I said, I want to replace. I never cast the other one. Would you mind if I switched it?
You know, I think normally I would, but I like the in-universe logic that you never cast it. It's like there's nothing to demonstrate that you actually have that spell under your command. So go ahead and swap it.
I mean, you're allowed to swap.
Yeah, don't swap it with like a level you like don't with a spell you don't have access to.
Right,
But yeah,
it's the same level.
no, that's fine.
There's
That's
a
fine.
call
Go ahead.
lightning versus ride the lightning. One of them lets me teleport.
Very good.
So there's a
Did
class
you
and-
watch the Packer game yesterday, Thomas?
Yeah.
It was unfortunate. Like they kind of reverted back into the team we all afraid that they were, but hoped that they wouldn't go back. But then they
Yeah.
went back to it. So
Yeah,
it's-
it was like after it started, I was like, "Well, this is,
Yeah.
I guess, what I expected."
Yeah. No, we started watching Aquaman at the second half.
It was just disappointing, just from the very
Yeah.
beginning. There was like never hope.
No, because when Mang the other night was like, "But have you watched Aquaman?"
It's
So I'm
a
like,
challenge,
"I gotta
dude.
watch it now." So
Challenge,
that's
dude.
what- yeah.
Is there a
Yes.
paths in here?
It should be.
Paths. Your spellbinder should be in there.
Mm.
Yeah.
You didn't get anything. Level 4.
That's too bad.
Well, you get something at every level, so
Maybe
it's
my
either
novice
it's either it's probably the novice path.
Yeah.